Q&A session has started. The recording has started.
The views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at TalkRealSolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of TalkRealSolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not TalkRealSolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
All right. Welcome to the show. This is Talk Real Solutions, and I am your host tonight, Tyrone Thompson. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today is June the 8th, 2023, and I want to... I ain't even got it pulled up. I want to invite you to go to TalkRealSolutions.com, and on there, you will find the 3-point plan to Black empowerment and financial freedom. It has 3 points. The first point is to get together with like-minded people. The next point is to stop all unnecessary spending and save your money. The third point is, as a unit, invest or save your money in a verified and trusted institution. A great goal would be for you to open a Black-owned business. And above the 3-point plan, you have a link to African-American-owned banks and African-American-owned credit unions. We could all start moving our money to these institutions to start practicing group economics today. And check out the rest of the links and articles on the website. That's exactly where we normally get the news stories from that we share with you guys on Thursday night. But tonight we're doing it a little different, as you can see. I titled the show Open Conversation, giving you a chance to call in and share your thoughts and opinions with me if you so desire. But if not, I'll try to hold your attention for as long as I possibly can and share some of my thoughts with you guys like I always do. And you can be entertained by my lovely voice or not. It's up to you. But I understand the people who don't want to call in and face the wrath of Tyrone, because I be slaying and filleting all these so-called truth tellers, and they can't handle it. Well, having said all that, and pat my own self on the shoulder, if you want to call in, the number to call in is 717-908-1834, and then the access code is 917-324. I'll open your mic and I will get you on the line here. Specifically, I don't normally invite people to call. Well, I guess I do, but tonight I want to really get the opinion of Sarge. If he's out there, I would really like to hear what he has to say about this latest breaking news. And if y'all didn't know, there is some breaking news, and the breaking news is Donald Trump has now been indicted in the classified documents case. Donald Trump has been indicted on the classified documents case. Now let's break this down because people try to downplay what an indictment is and all of that kind of stuff, right? So he has been formally charged of a serious crime, most likely a felony. The first president in American history to be indicted on most likely felony charges. And this is serious, guys, because it's not like one person is accusing Donald Trump of something and then bringing an indictment. These charges went before a grand jury, and in order for them to indict Donald Trump, I don't know how many is in a grand jury, but at least 12 people agreed that what was presented before them is reason to indict the former president of the United States of America on these most likely felony charges. Now, the reason that I said that I need to talk to Sarge tonight, because I mean, I know that he do a lot of shucking and jiving, and he tried to defend Donald Trump at all costs. But there is no defense of this. There is no defense of this. You are defending a criminal at this point. What's up, Frodo? You're defending a criminal as Donald Trump has been indicted by a grand jury. People looked at the evidence and seen that crimes were committed, and they said, we need to indict this guy. And he will have to be arrested again. And I think they're doing this one in Florida. Now, the sad thing about this whole situation is that this guy's in the running to be president of the United States of America. And I don't know, I don't like my slideshow. I'm gonna try to see if I can put this one up here. This guy's in running to be president of the United States of America. And he has support of these brain dead idiots like Sarge. And the reason that I said I want to talk to him, because I'm seriously curious on what the excuse will be now that a grand jury of 12 different people, at least I think, has said that there's enough charges to bring against this guy to indict him. So what is an indictment? An indictment is a formal accusation. It's on the screen there. A formal accusation that a person has committed a crime in jurisdiction that use the concept of felonies. The most serious criminal offense is a felony. Jurisdictions that do not use the felony concept often use that of an indictable offense, an offense that requires an indictment. So, like I said, most likely this indictment, because it involved a grand jury, has felony charges. We know that already because we went over the charges whenever they had the documents down at Mar-a-Lago. Those were serious charges, some carrying 20 years, some carrying 10 years. So we know that Donald Trump has committed crimes. This is what I've been yelling ever since that man got elected to office. He's a criminal. He's a criminal. They let him get away with crimes. They let him get away with the impeachment, both of them. They let him get away with using Russia in the 2016 election. They let him get away with all of these things. They let him get away with the emoluments clause. They let his children get away by using the White House as a piggy bank. They let him get away with by using the White House as a piggy bank. You know, all of those are crimes. And they gave this man chance after chance after chance. They let him get away with well, I don't think that it seems like they letting him get away with committing all these election fraud, trying to steal the election, but all of these crimes this man committed, this country has let him get away with it. And I've always asked myself why. I know why, because of the color of his skin. That's why they allow him to get away. That's why he got chance after chance after chance to correct himself or just fade away. But this idiot's so dumb that he wants to keep on doubling down on his whiteness. At some point in time, the law is going to outweigh your pompous fucking behavior, your arrogant behavior. The law is not going to continue to in other words, DOJ, he tied their hands. I mean, he tied their hands because these guys kept giving him chance after chance after chance, even with this case that he's getting indicted on now. Long before we was aware of what was going on with the raid down at Mar-a-Lago, the DOJ and the government was working with this guy to at least let us know what the documents is. You're out of the office now. Turn them over, and this stuff will probably go away. But this guy was too stupid to actually do the right thing and just shut the hell up and go on about his business. He had already got away with so much, right? And they gave him a chance to talk to NARA, to talk to the Department of Justice, to talk to the FBI, to turn these documents over. They even signed a document saying that they had turned over everything. And they didn't, because they went back down there again and found more documents. And this last week, I found out that, right before they came down there to get the documents, that somebody in Mar-a-Lago tried to flood the server room with the cameras and the CCTV equipment in there to try to destroy the equipment. And I'm like, okay, this guy's an idiot. He's a straight idiot. And even now, I guarantee you, if Donald Trump somehow or another got some common sense in his head and said, okay, government, I'm willing to work with you. Let's make this go away. They would make it go away. They would make it go away. But what Donald Trump wants, what the right wing wants, is they want to see how far they can push this country and see if they can rile up their base enough to cause violence in this country. That's what they want. They want to see if anything happens to Donald Trump, will his supporters go to bat for him and violently defend Donald Trump. And, I'm kind of wishing that, they do something like that. I want to see them be so upset that Donald Trump has got indicted that they actually do something stupid. I really do. And I think that's part of the reason that he's being so resistant to following instructions or doing the right thing, because he wants this country divided. And he thinks in his mind that perhaps with all of this chaos and confusion, that he will be granted leadership again. I know it sounds fucked up, but you can see what happened on January the 6th and see how this guy does things, right? So I don't ever see this man having no common sense and actually, what's up, Jermaine? Tyrone, you're right, but the Democrats don't do the same thing. Don't the No, the Democrats don't do the same thing. Jermaine, show me when the Democrats tried to overthrow the government. Show me when the Democrats tried to, I don't know, hide documents from the government, lie about it, have their attorneys sign these papers saying that everything was given away. But no, the Democrats don't do the same thing. I'm not saying that the good Democrats are perfect, and please don't get me in the position to defend Democrats. Fuck the damn Democrats. But I'm just saying, whenever we having these conversations, you guys don't never want to have the conversations about the subject at hand. It's always Hunter Biden laptop. It's always look at what Joe Biden's doing. It's look at what the Democrats doing. No, this guy got criminally indicted today. The former president of the United States got criminally indicted, and that should be the subject. Not this whataboutism. Come on. Ever since this guy has been in office, that has been the way conversations happen. You say Trump, he'll say Clinton. You say Trump, he'll say Hunter Biden. You say Trump, he'll say Joe Biden. You say Trump, they'll say Democrats. You say Trump, they say Black Lives Matter. You say Trump, they say what? It's never a conversation about the subject at hand. It's always deflection. Never looking at the evidence that is presented against this guy. Right? The reason that they went down to Mar-a-Lago is because this man possessed property that belonged to the federal government, and he was not returning it when requested to do so. And in addition to that, he was also manipulating it and hiding it, right? We got witnesses to speak to that account. Republicans. And in addition to that, we have Republican witnesses that participated in the investigation of January the 6th that told us that Donald Trump schemed and actually came up with a way to try to overthrow the government so he can remain in power. No, Democrats have never done that. No, Democrats have never done anything comparable to what the Republicans have done up under the leadership of Donald Trump. And you know what? Let me go to Truth Social and show you exactly what I just said to Jermaine, because it's a fact. Look, he got indicted today, right? He got indicted. So what is the first thing Donald Trump says whenever he get indicted? This is his response to his indictment. The corrupt Biden administration has informed my attorneys that I have been indicted, seemingly over the box's hoax. Even though, here's that what if, just like Jermaine just did, here's that what if, even though Joe Biden had 1,850 boxes at the University of Delaware, additional boxes in Chinatown, D.C., with even more boxes at the University of Pennsylvania, and documents strewn all over his garage floor where he parks his Corvette, and which is secured by only a garage door that is paper thin and open much of the time. That's that. What about you addressing the fact that you broke the law? Right? These are the conversations that we have with these Trump supporters. They never stay on fucking target. They never stay. See, even with Donald Trump responding the way that he did, he just responded the same way Jermaine did in the chat room by bringing up Democrats. Talk about the subject. There has been laws broke. Let's talk about the criminality of these indictments, right? I don't give a fuck about no Joe Biden 1,850 whatever conspiracy that you're talking about. Nobody gives a shit. Because if it was illegal, I guarantee you that Joe Biden would be suffering the same consequences as Donald Trump. Guarantee it. But Joe Biden didn't try to hide the damn documents, didn't have his lawyers lie to the Department of Justice and say that all the documents has been turned over, and it hasn't, right? This was Donald Trump's first response to his indictment. This is page 2. I have been summoned to appear at a federal courthouse in Miami on Tuesday at 3 p.m. I never thought it possible that such a thing could happen to a former president of the United States who received far more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country, that's a lie, and currently leading by all candidates, both Democrat and Republicans, that's a lie, in polls of the 2024 election. He's leading in the Republican polls, but he's not beating Joe Biden. Now, here's the deal with this comment. Whenever he makes these outlandish claims that he never thought that a former president could be, he said, I never thought that it could be possible that such a thing could happen to a former president who received far more votes than the sitting president. Listen, in order for Joe Biden to win the election, this is just common math, basic math. He had to receive more votes than Donald Trump, period. So whenever he say he received more votes than Joe Biden, he's lying. You can't receive more votes and lose. That's just not a thing. But he spews this shit all the time, like it makes sense. All right, so, and then page 3. This is indeed a dark day in the United States of America. We are a country in serious, rapid decline, but together we will make America great again. All right, so I guess that was his response to, no, it wasn't. Hold on. There was another one, but that was his first response to the being indicted. Look how he's looking. I am an innocent man. The Biden administration is totally corrupt. This is election interference and a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time. Why are you looking like that? Let me see something.
We're a nation in decline, and yet they go after a popular president, a president that got more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country, by far, and did much better the second time in the election than the first.
Oh, he mad. He's upset. He know that he's in some damn trouble. I would play the video, but I don't think they're hearing it on the conference. But yeah, look at this guy. He's worried, and he should be, because he broke the fucking law over and over and over and over again. He broke the law. I called it out right here on this air with pushback from fucking coons like ABC and fucking fucking idiots like Sarge. They always try to push back and do that whataboutism and Black Lives Matter and the Hunter Biden laptop. Listen, they've been looking at Hunter Biden laptop forever. I want you to compare and contrast this right here, right? We know that Donald Trump committed these crimes. An investigation was started, and we have the evidence to a grand jury more than one time came together and found these charges for Donald Trump, and now he's getting indicted. The Hunter Biden laptop, if there was anything there that was illegal, then the same legal process would have occurred, and we would be looking at Hunter Biden getting indicted. 4 years later, we don't have shit. We don't have shit. And their argument, listen how dumb their argument is. Their argument is that the entire justice system is liberal leftist. When this motherfucker put a lot of judges on the bench. And we know that when judges take the bench, they supposed to be impartial. So I give them that partially, but we've seen these biased judges, and I that was the last line for me. That was crossing the Rubicon for me. Whenever I seen these corrupt judges, I really thought that judges, once they get on the bench, that black robe meant something. But Donald Trump exposed how corrupt these judges can be. So I'm telling you about the judges now, because you do have some judges that does the right thing, and then you got some judges like that female judge down in Florida, for Donald Trump, that is kind of biased, and she uses her power for politics, and we have that too. So the whole judge system is corrupt, and I really looked at that as, like, once you make it there, then you're not corrupt no more. But that's just not the case. They're all political, right? But my point that I'm trying to make is that the right wing, when things don't go their way, it's all the left fault. And now the entire justice system is liberal. The grand jury is liberal. But right now, what you've seen in this post right here, he said that he's been summoned to appear in a federal courthouse in Miami. The last time when Alvin Braggs called him to New York, everybody was saying that he ain't gonna get no fair shake in New York because that's a liberal state, right? Which was stupid, because you have to go choose your jurors. But that was their argument, because it was New York. But now he's got to go to Miami. A Ron DeSantis fight against woke motherfucking state is blood red in Miami. And now he's going to the courthouse in Miami for these charges. What is y'all excuse going to be now? That's going to be a liberal goddamn courthouse too? No, the jurisdiction don't matter when it comes to these type of things. The justice system, when you get chosen to be on a jury, they give you instructions, and you're supposed to go by those guidelines to make your determinations and all that kind of bullshit, right? See, ABC, you the dumbest son of a bitch. I want y'all to read what ABC just wrote. Y'all been calling Trump a criminal for 7 years. Ain't nothing happened but civil case award that's being appealed. I don't know. Jermaine, fix him, because he's stupid. He don't know what the fuck he's talking about. What's up, East Coast? Yeah, I don't see. I don't like talking to ABC about politics or anything, anything that requires a little study, because you're just an idiot. What do you mean? Ain't nothing happened to him but civil? What do you mean? Good Lord. This indictment here, I'll do it again like the way I just did it, so this idiot would know, and I'll be able to repeat myself to let people know. All right, whenever you get an indictment, that means that it had to go before a grand jury, and a jury had to make a decision, and those charges are not misdemeanors. Those charges are most likely felonies, right? So Trump got indicted today, which means those are most likely felony charges. And it says right here, an indictment is a formal accusation that a person has committed a crime in a jurisdiction that uses the concept of felonies. The most serious criminal offense is a felony. Jurisdictions that do not use felonies concept often use that of indictable offense, an offense that requires an indictment. So whenever you say that he, I'll open your line. Whenever you say that he only got civil charges, that's just not true. ABC, let me finish this right here, Howard, and then then you can go. So I'm gonna give y'all this right here. I put an indictment for a misdemeanor, right? It says if it's a misdemeanor, then there's generally just criminal information that's issued, as you do not need a grand jury or citizens to vote on it. When a person is indicted, they are given a formal notice that are believed to have committed a crime, along the details of expansion of the charges against them. So he will not be getting indicted if this was a lesser charge than a felony, because a grand jury had to sit up there and say, okay, what we see here is enough evidence to charge this man with a felony. That's why he's getting indicted. And misdemeanors don't get indictments. So you're a dumbass. And what's up, Howard?
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, man, great. Great shows thus far. It's funny, I tried to call Sarge today when I was looking at some news and said, oh, shit, you better drop Trump and get with DeSantis because he's not going to be able to run for president, which was funny to me. And now you did a show. That's why I was calling in early. Didn't really want to interrupt you, but that's why I was calling in early.
Tonight. You good? You good?
Yeah, but you said it was, you got it? Yeah. How much is it? All right. Hey, yeah, Ty. So that's why I was calling, man. And yeah, you on point with everything you saying. And, you're dealing with a lot of people that got a cult mentality, a lot of things. And you're not going to change a lot of people's mind. You just can do what you do, man. Put the facts out. And maybe hopefully they can think about those facts, look it up, cross-reference what you're saying, and maybe come up with some real shit. If they can't, then that's on them, man. You can't save everybody. You got nigga fool coons in the chat that, like ABC, that will never feel what you're saying when you're speaking for real factual shit. Man, you can't worry about that. Spit the factual shit to people that want it. And, for dudes like that want to be a contrarian or want to be like, hey, I'm smarter than everybody else. I know something that you don't know. And let them fucking do what they do. But, from what I've seen from like 10 years fucking around with this shit, is that them dudes are always on the wrong side of the history. They always on the wrong side of
every issue that they had, Howard. You can't name one issue or what they stood on that they was on the right side. None of them over all these years. None of them.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying, man, don't get too worried about these niggas in the chat saying this, that, and that. They ain't never been right. Not from COVID, even before COVID, they ain't never been right. But they just, people want to be contrarians or think they're smarter than what's being reported. And they not even in the know of anything. Reporters are reporters for a reason. These niggas are just niggas that are listening to reporters. And sometimes they don't even know that these motherfuckers are some faulty-ass reporters. And they're following like Tucker Carlson, following lies and shit, think they know something or whatever. Man, don't get frustrated. Keep it pushing, man. Keep pushing the truth. And these motherfuckers just gonna be what they gonna be. Just some bullshit ass niggas on the internet that's struggling. When you get out the military and you go stay with your wife's goddamn parents, that let me know that your thinking ain't cool. When you was a nigga without a plan, that already let me know you a sucker duck, you a sucker motherfucker. And that's what A.B. Coon did. He admitted on this show. Who does that? You go get out of the military. You done did in the military, get out and go sleep on your wife's mama couch? That's crazy, but that's a nigga that some niggas want to listen to. But that's real shit. but I'll let
Well,
it go.
you good, man. My thing is, I don't know what the next move is, and the reason that I'm saying that is because this is a former president. For them to indict him, for the New York Alvin Braggs to bring up those 34 counts of business fraud, which are not civil ABC. That those are actual crimes. I don't know what the next move is. The only thing that we waiting on now, or I am, is to see what Fannie Willis does in Georgia, with that RICO charge. And I don't know if that dude gonna have to wear an ankle bracelet, but I do know, unlike this last time where they didn't handcuff his ass and take his mugshot, this might be a case where I don't know if they're gonna handcuff him, but they may have to take a mugshot with this one. I don't know.
Right. But hey, Ty, let me speak on this. I don't know who Jermaine Thompson is, and he said, "Why
cool.
you attacking somebody? Why you attacking somebody's character?" You know, it's funny. I'm not attacking anybody's character. I attack what a motherfucker has done for at least 10 years, 10 years that I've been on this thing, and ain't nothing they said with these conspiracies that had true. Nothing. You've been lying for 8 or 10 years. I'm not attacking. I don't know anybody on this motherfucker personally to attack their character. So first of all, the way you worded it, you a goddamn fool. I don't know. I only can attack what has come out your fucking mouth. And a nigga that do a show every week has a lot of shit to attack because he opens his lying ass mouth up all the time. So I'm not attacking anybody. I don't know a nigga character. You a damn fool. And I just wanted to get that out there, Tyrone. These niggas are some sick ass individuals. I just wanted to say that.
I pick at ABC and Sarge because they right wingers. And Jerome is a Republican. I don't know if he's still a Republican or not. No, let me say Jermaine is a Republican, but I don't think that he go down that road hard like Sarge and ABC do for the right. But that's his political ideology. So I understand what the pushback is from Jermaine, and it's all good. You know, a good debate is all right. You know, but you know the point that
hold on, he just put something in there talking about he moved in with his. No, that ain't his character.
Okay,
that's
well listen, I'm not gonna make this an ABC show, man. I'm not finna do that.
No, but he talking about I'm talking about his character. No, that's what the nigga said, and okay, I believe.
Well, we're gonna move past ABC and what.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Jermaine Thompson. That's what the nigga said. That's factual, and you seem to have a problem with it more than me because maybe you thought he was better than that. I never did. I'm good, Tyrone. Thanks, man. I'll ease back. I'm putting myself on mute. Thank you, brother.
All right. But yeah, guys, this is big news. And for the right wing to continue to go down this path of support for Donald Trump is just crazy to me. But who y'all need to keep your eyes on is Chris Christie, because he's the only one brave enough out there right now to call Donald Trump out for what it is. Even though he's a piece of shit, he's the only one. He's the only one brave enough to call Donald Trump out and just say what Donald Trump did. But after this indictment here, I don't know. You know, there's nothing that Donald Trump can do that these guys don't defend. He lied when he came into the campaign about the Mexicans paying for the wall. He lied about building the wall. He lied when he got into office and said that he was going to reduce the deficit whenever he gave all those tax cuts and increased the deficit by $3 billion. He just kept lying and lying and lying. And you guys are just like cult members that steadily don't see nothing wrong. And guys, I'm saying that, and I'm building this conversation up this way, is because there's more to it than just politics whenever it comes for you guys supporting Donald Trump and the right wing. Because it's about you guys literally demonizing the left and calling them Satanists and calling them baby eaters and calling them Antichrist and calling them all of this kind of stuff. So your religious side is taking over and you want to join the side of God. And that's why you guys look at the I call them, I said Democrats. The Democrats in the way that you do, and you can't see, even though Joe Biden got all these accomplishments, even though he did an infrastructure bill, even though he attempted to reduce student loans, even though he did work on the greenhouse stuff and all that kind of bullshit, even though Joe Biden has actually got all these accomplishments, you guys can't see that what is best for America is a politician or a leader that is going to actually help improve America. You guys want to get behind someone because of your religious ideology. That's what it is. And you following this idea, and it's turned you into cult followers with Donald Trump. And that's why you guys can't see the other side. And if you don't think Joe Biden accomplished nothing, all you got to do is Google it, man. They proud of it. They put it on the White House website all the time, and you can see what he's done compared to Donald Trump. Donald Trump ain't did shit. Donald Trump ain't did shit. I mean, you seen Donald Trump, as soon as he get in office, he tried to tear down our foreign relations with our allies. We seen that he tried to get rid of NATO. We seen that Donald Trump just didn't, and sided with Kim Jong-un, whatever the fuck his name is, in Korea, and the Chinese leadership. I mean, get the fuck out of here. Just Google it, man. It's on. I started to Google it for you and read it for you, but I'm not gonna do all that. Let me go back over here to this Trump indictment, because I don't know the truth, the whole story yet, because shit just happened, and I've been busy. Trump indicted. Let me find me a short story. I know y'all don't like to hear me stumble over words. Jesus Christ. Okay, so here we go. Let's go with this one from CNBC. And I'll share the screen. I think that's it. All right, so from this article, it says Trump indicted on seven criminal counts. Where the fuck is that at? This is June the 8th. This is the day. So they got 7 criminal counts in this one, a classified documents case. Former President Trump has been indicted in a federal court in connection with his retention of classified government documents at Florida's home after leaving the White House. Trump himself disclosed the indictment in a series of posts on his Truth Social media. He also said that he's been summoned to appear in Miami on Tuesday. He is currently seeking the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. An FBI raid at Mar-a-Lago's residence last summer found hundreds of classified records. Former President Trump has been indicted on 7 federal criminal charge counts in connection with hundreds of classified documents he retained at his Florida home after leaving the White House. Trump himself disclosed the indictment in a series of, I just read all that. NBC News soon after confirmed the indictment, which is the second time in recent months that the Trump has been criminally charged. See that right there, ABC? That's not civil. He's the second time he's been criminally charged. And the first time was with Braggs in New York. He remains under criminal investigation by the Department of Justice and Georgia State prosecutor for his effort to reverse his loss on the President Joe Biden in the 2020 election. The nature of the latest charges that Trump is not public, as the indictment is sealed for now. People familiar with the matter told NBC that the charges include false statements and conspiracy to obstruct. Trump's attorney, Jim Trusty, in an interview on CNN, said the charges also include willingly retaining documents in violations of the Espionage Act. See, so for instance, we just got 2 maybe charges, false statements and conspiracy to obstruct. You guys won't have conversations about the false statements and the conspiracy to obstruct. you would say something like, well, what about Hunter Biden's laptop? Let's talk about Trump getting charged with false statements and conspiracy to obstruct. And the other charge that he's talking about right now is retaining the documents in violation of the Espionage Act. Let's talk about him violating the Espionage Act. You guys don't want to have that conversation because you'll say something about, what about Joe Biden? Trump, who is seeking the 2024 Republican nomination, is the only U.S. president, former or otherwise, ever to be criminally charged. A Trump political action committee immediately begun fundraising off of the news about the latest indictment. He was first indicted by New York grand jury. See, once again, in this situation with Alvin Braggs, a grand jury determined that he had 30 or 34 counts of charges relating to business, so that made it a felony. In March, on charges of falsifying business records in connection with hush money to a porn star in 2016. In a video statement Thursday, Trump called the new charges an election interference at its highest level. On Truth Social, Trump wrote, "I never thought it possible that such a thing could happen to a former president of the United States. I am an innocent man. This is indeed a dark day in the United States of America," he wrote. A U.S. Secret Service official told NBC News that the Secret Service brass will meet with Trump on Friday to begin the security logistics for him, planning him to appear in Miami court. Ain't this some bullshit? Listen, because he's a former president, we got to pay the Secret Service to take this motherfucker to jail. You got to be, and then you guys still support this son of a bitch. He's got to go. Just like Ray Ray and them, who got them court dates, whether they playing child support or selling drugs on the corner, or got caught, robbing something. He got court dates. He got warrants. This motherfucker's a criminal. But y'all talk shit about the black community and all the criminality in your own goddamn community. But you won't say shit about this motherfucker having to show up court case after court case, scamming people out of their money to pay his legal fees. Trump has been the focus of federal criminal investigations since last year over his stonewalling of the request to return government records, including classified documents after ending his term as president. By law, such records must be returned. By law, such records must be returned when the president leaves office. Last August, the FBI raided Trump's home at Mar-a-Lago and Palm Beach, Florida, searching for records they believed would be there. Agents found hundreds of documents marked classified, along with many more government records that had been, obligated to, I don't know what the hell this word is, obligated, I guess they spelled it wrong, to return. A spokesman for special counsel Jack Smith, who has been leading the investigation for the Department of Justice, declined to comment to NBC. Trump, who most likely recently have been living in the residence at Bedminster, New Jersey, in his social media posts, the corrupt Biden administration has informed me and my attorneys that I have been indicted. Okay, so he's just going over that shit again. But listen, this motherfucker got warrants, guys. Jermaine, do you support Donald Trump? Do you support Donald Trump? Are you going to vote for Donald Trump if he's the nominee? And right now, guys, even though he's indicted, he can still run. He can still run for president. I think even if he get charged, I don't know, can you be president if you're charged with a crime? Let me Google that.
No, he has to be convicted of a felony, Tyrone. Convicted of a felony. Can you hear me, Ty?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, he got to be convicted of a felony.
Trump could still be president. Hold on. Charges do not legally bar. U.S. is a felony legally permitted. Hold on. Is a felony? Okay, well, this guy adds. Okay, so I'm gonna go by what Howard said. His indictment is not gonna stop him from running. His charges in New York is not gonna be stopping from running. Can a convicted felony? I'm one of those who's you're speaking to, Aaron Judgment. I don't know, but I think like Howard, if he get convicted of a felony, that disqualifies you, period, because you can't get no secret clearance and all that kind of bullshit. If you got those type of charges, so that's probably what's going to do him in. If he get charged with the felony, he won't be able to run for president no more. But what I want to see right now is I want to see the MAGA base get angry at this indictment and start tearing this country up. I want to see them come together. I want to see Sarge get in the street with his fucking AK-47. I want to see ABC put on his little anti-vaccine shirt. I want to see all of them people out there in the street right now because Donald Trump has been indicted on felony charges. And we'll have to show up in court in Miami on the 3rd of next month, look like. So I want to see all of y'all out there protesting and busting shit up for Donald Trump. I want to see every one of y'all in the street protesting for Donald Trump. Now, what I don't think is I don't think y'all that damn stupid no more because they done sentenced Stuart Rhodes and the leader of the Proud Boys to damn near 20 years in jail for doing just that shit. For doing just that shit. Are you going to call to Tyrone? Push back a little bit. Call in, ABC, you little bitch. I don't think y'all gonna do that no more. I think Donald Trump gassed y'all heads up with a lie. Nigga, you can indict a ham sandwich. No, you can't. See, that's why I say I don't like talking to you. When you indict someone, you have to have a grand jury of 12 different people make a decision that in agreement, they agree the charges are warranted. That's the way it has to be. So you can't get 12 people. I mean, once you go to a grand jury, you're just stupid. I don't know why I'm talking about legalities of shit. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. But I want to see if you guys are going to protest for Trump. I want to see if you guys are going to be in the street fighting for him. I want y'all to do it. But y'all know that because of January the 6th, y'all ain't finna do that shit no more because Trump gassed y'all head up last time thinking that he was going to be king and you guys were going to take over the damn country for him and somehow or another the legal system was just going to fall apart and allow that shit to happen. No, y'all stupid. This is the United States of America. Even though it sucks when it comes to black people, the laws is the laws. And begrudgingly, these people have to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. It's not fair for black people, but they have to do it. And Donald Trump is pushing them every time to uphold their oath to the Constitution because he just blatantly breaks the fucking law over and over and over again. And they got to do it. But you guys are so stupid that y'all looking for somebody to come save y'all. I don't know what the fuck y'all expecting Donald Trump to do. He always running a grift. He's always taking the money. He's never giving it back. The January 6 people has been in jail. And Donald Trump's supposed to be a billionaire. Why hasn't he paid anybody's bond that went to jail for him in Washington? I think over 1,000 people now has been at least tried in Washington and went to jail for Donald Trump. Why the fuck ain't the Republican Party or Donald Trump got those people out of jail? Y'all motherfuckers stupid. Y'all stupid. I want to know that. That's a good question for Donald Trump and his campaign. Why didn't they use any of that donation money to get any of these people that went to jail for him out? Not one motherfucker. But you know who he did pardon? He pardoned his buddy, Steve Bannon.
So, Tyrone, you saying that he didn't pay for anybody's bail at all?
No, he ain't paid for nobody's bail.
Damn.
Not
I didn't
one
know
motherfucker.
that. Damn.
But they sitting in jail for his ass. And they still support him. I don't get that type of support, man. I call myself a leftist in a heartbeat. The left don't act like that. I ain't gonna be on nobody jock strap like that. God damn. These motherfuckers go to jail for you. But I think it's just the mentality of I think it's like a Christian thing, man. So I'm tired of talking. Y'all can call in. God damn it, I ain't got nothing else to say. Oh, you know what? I seen Jamie Foxx do a video, and it looked like he suffered a stroke, guys. He made like a little a YouTube short, and he was wishing everybody well and thanking everybody, but it looked like he suffered a stroke. So I'm glad that he's up and out of the hospital and stuff. So that's a good thing. But something had happened to him, a medical emergency, and looked like he's recovering. Because I was really worried because it was silence. It was like a blackout when Jamie Foxx went in the hospital, and rightfully so, because your medical business is your business and nobody needs to know. But I'm just satisfied to know that he's up and moving around and doing all right. So I wanted to share that with you. And what else is going on social media? I don't know. Let me YouTube some shit. Let me close my browser for y'all see my shortcuts. Y'all be like, oh shit, Tyrone.
Well, can you talk about them niggas that go sleep on their in-laws' couch? I mean,
you want to talk about
that's a big time.
You want to talk about ABC? You can talk about ABC all night
I
long.
didn't say ABC. It's a lot of niggas that sleep on their in-laws' couch.
Who you talking about sleeping on their in-laws' couch, Howard?
It's a lot of sorry ass niggas that don't have a plan, that look for their wife's parents to help them out and shit. And if it was me, I wouldn't let a nigga do it to go sleep on their in-laws' couch. That's like some bull. Nigga, you should have had your shit together before you even got married. The hell you doing?
Well,
But I mean, that's just me. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't go down that
that's
rabbit hole.
Just me.
Between y'all little spouse.
I mean, you want a grown nigga sleeping on your couch with your daughter or my daughter or something. I wouldn't want what the hell? I'm just saying. But those are the type of niggas that try to lead the community, sleeping on their goddamn mama couch. Those are the niggas. I'm done, though. I'm done. I'm muting. Mute.
I'm tapping in the chat room because I ain't trying to talk about that nigga. I don't see, you done fucked me up. I ain't got nothing to talk about. I don't know what's going on social media. I've been watching all these damn police videos. The police, like these audit videos. The police are some corrupt people. And they don't give a shit. But I know y'all don't want to hear about my oh yeah, the lady that got shot. Where was that at? AJ was it? It was a black lady that knocked on the door. AJ Owens. I know y'all heard about this story. It was a black lady that went to confront a woman that took her child's iPad away, and a white lady just shot through the door and killed the mother. And here's the story here. Her name was AJ Owens, and it says Ocala, Florida. See, there's that state where they got guns just everywhere. It says white woman who fatally shot black neighbor through the front door. She got arrested, but they didn't arrest her at first. They didn't arrest her at first. The day that she shot that lady, they didn't arrest her. But there was a lot of protests, and old Benjamin Crump and his crowd was down there, and they finally arrested that lady. A white woman who fired through her front door and killed a black neighbor was arrested Tuesday, authorities said, in a case that puts Florida divisive stand your ground law back in the spotlight. The shooting sparked widespread anger and protest. The Marion County Sheriff says Suzanne Lawrence, age 58, was charged with manslaughter with a firearm and other offenses. Let me tell you something. Manslaughter is not what that fucking lady did. Here's what manslaughter means. The crime of killing a human being without malice, afterthought, or otherwise circumstances not amounting to murder. Okay, see, so what is murder? An unlawful premeditated killing of one human by another. That's what that lady did, because she shot through her front door. And that was unlawful. You just can't shoot through your goddamn front door. But anyway, they charged her with manslaughter.
Hey, Ty, do you know some of the backstory?
Well, I'm pretty sure this story is going to get to it.
Yeah, get to it, because she hit that lady's kids with some skates or something. I think they were fucking with the same dude. But the lady that killed the sister assaulted the sister's kids. I hope if they cover that in art. If they don't, I'm letting you know for sure. She assaulted that lady's kids. But go ahead.
All right, AJ Owens, a 35-year-old mother of four who was killed on Friday in a shooting, Sheriff Billy Woods said, in the culmination of a 2.5-year feud between the neighbors. They lived in the Rolling Hills, South Ocala in North Florida, at the heart of the county. In a video posted to Facebook Tuesday night, the sheriff said that this was not stand your ground, but a case of a simple killing. Now, many were struggling to understand why there was not an immediate arrest, the sheriff said. The laws here in the state of Florida are clear. Now, I may not like them, but I may not agree with them, but however, those laws I will follow. The video shared by the sheriff office showed two detectives and deputies escorting Lawrence, who was wearing shorts and a black top and a jacket down the hallway. The woman's hands were behind her back as she walked. According to the sheriff's office, the evidence showed that over time, Lawrence had become angry over Owen's children playing in the field to her apartment. On Friday night, the office said Lawrence got into an argument with one of the children over and yelled and was overheard yelling at the neighbors. During the argument, the office continued. Lawrence threw a roller skate at Owen's 10-year-old son and hit him in the toe. The boy and his 12-year-old brother.
There you go.
The boy and his 12-year-old brother went to speak to Lawrence, and she opened the door and swung at them with an umbrella. Then told their mother what happened, and Owens approached Lawrence's home, knocked on the door multiple times, and demanded that Lawrence come outside. Lawrence then fired one shot through the door, striking Owens in her upper chest. At that time she was shot, Owens' 10-year-old son was standing by her side, the sheriff noted. The deputies responding to a trespassing call at the apartment Friday night found Owens suffering from a gunshot wound. She later died in the hospital. When questioned by the sheriff, Lawrence claimed she acted in self-defense and that Owens was trying to break down her door. Lawrence also claimed that Owens had come over after her in the past and had previously attacked her. The office continued. But detectives were unable to establish Lorenz's actions were not justified under Florida law. She was arrested, the office said. The manslaughter charge Lorenz is facing is punishable by up to 30 years in prison, the office noted. She's also charged with culpable negligence, battery, and 2 counts of assault. Billy Wood said in a statement that he wanted to thank Mrs. Owens' family for their patience, and as we conduct a diligent investigation that we are bound by the law of conduct, Mrs. Lorenz's fate is now in the hands of the judicial system, which I trust will deliver justice in due course. As I go to bed tonight, I will be praying for Mrs. Owens and her children and the rest of her family. I'd ask you to do the same. See, this is some bullshit, because it should be. Why did that lady have a chance why did that lady have a chance to argue stand your ground immediately? And I want to see if she got a GoFundMe up already.
She probably got $10 million in that mofo.
I don't see no GoFundMe. I forgot what that other racist website was that other dude used. I'm gonna go check on there as soon as I figure out what it is. But
hey,
go
can
ahead.
I say something real quick, Ty?
Go ahead.
This is what I don't get about stand your ground. You assaulted children. Well, she did. She assaulted little kids, like threw skates at them or whatever. Mm-hmm. She assaulted somebody. Them little kids went back to their mama. Moms come to the house like, hey, you know, whatever she was saying, why you gonna do this to my kids, or you don't, assault my kids? And this woman shoot and say she's scared for her life after she done assaulted kids. First of all, why isn't she in jail for assaulting kids? That's definitely in the evidence. She threw the skate at the kid. You should be in jail, first of all, for that. Mm-hmm. The second thing of murder, then we gonna get your ass on that too. She should already be in jail for assaulting kids, because everybody agree on that. So this is crazy. And that stand your ground rule, and I'll say it and I'll say it again, is for these scary ass white men and these punk ass niggas like Jermaine and ABC. That's what stand your ground stand for them niggas who got the upper hand and can't nobody else know what's going on after you done shot a nigga. You've been talking shit to Tyrone, this and that, or assaulted Tyrone, and if he get on your ass, you got a gun and shoot him and say, I was scared for my life. I was scared for my life. That is just, it's a bullshit law. But I digress, brother.
All right. And Miss Elisa, welcome to the show. How you doing tonight, sis?
Hey, Tyrone. I said I had a few minutes. I was going to call in. Mm-hmm. I'm still caught up in my neck. One thing that they're not saying about the story about the woman who was Howard, one thing that they're not saying in the story about the woman who was shot, when her sister knows and they first told the story, the people who were there, they said that the reason that the children went over there, because I think it was some type of yelling at them or whatever had went on. So they left to go inside. And when they left, as they were walking back to the house, the boy realized he had left his iPad in the yard. Not in the yard, but wherever they were standing on the sidewalk or whatever. And when he went back to get it, he realized that the woman had taken it. And that was the reason that they went over there to get the iPad back. And when they went over there to ask her for it back, that's when she threw the skates at them. So I'm not hearing anything about that.
So that's 2 crimes. She done took their iPhone, and that's 2 crimes.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not hearing the media reporting it, but that was the first story not the first story, but that was the first, information that was given. That's why the children went over there because she had the iPad. Then she threw the skates at them. Then they went and told their mom, that this such and such threw the skates at us, and she stole our iPad. So the mom went over there behind that. And I'm not hearing any more reporting about that stolen iPad. And just like Howard said, she attacked some children. That's an attack. You throw something at children. So I'm not hearing anything about either of those of what was first reported. So we just have, I figured, but the thing is, they weren't going, like with the man who got choked out on the subway.
Yeah.
Some of these, I'm sorry, not that one. The young man who went and knocked on the wrong door and got shot, and people were saying that they're not going to arrest. And I remember when that was going on, I was like, are we going to have to wait, give it some time? Maybe they're crossing their T's and dotting their I's. And
well, I think there's a sister, Lisa, I think there's a sister who knocked on somebody's door and got shot too. I don't know if it's the same case or not,
yeah.
but is it the same case? Okay.
Yeah, but my point is, with this case, I was pretty much sure they were going to charge the old man who shot the young boy, and then the the white girl who got killed in her car. They didn't arrest that man right away, but he ended up getting arrested. This woman, I don't think they were going to arrest her down in Florida. It took other neighbors who, because the first thing that the sheriff and them said that was to stand your ground, just that, so on and so forth. But it took neighbors from the community that they live in to go in and speak. And not just black people. They went in and spoke with the sheriff and said, look, this is what really happened here. And then the sheriff, and I guess spoke with the district attorney, then they decided to charge this woman. But I don't think they were going to charge her until the neighbors, the people who witnessed it, came forward and said, look,
did she really shoot through the door?
Yeah. Yeah, she shot through the door.
Through the door? I mean, through a closed door. I'm not saying an open door. She shot. This woman
they kept
uncommitted.
saying she shot through a metal door. So yeah, she shot through.
Her ass should be in jail. She done committed 3 crimes. She assaulted kids. She stole from kids. She assaulted the kids, and she killed somebody. And how the fuck she ain't in jail?
Well, I think that manslaughter charge is a slap on the wrist. It should be murder.
Yeah.
Because she murdered that woman.
But they weren't going to charge her at all until the people who actually witnessed, not just the woman's children, but people who live in that neighborhood actually witnessed what happened. They went in and spoke. Because they said no one came to speak to them or ask them, like, you go speak to the, canvass the area or whatever. None of that wasn't done. And those people had to go to the sheriff's department and say, look, no one came and asked us, but this is several people. But this is what happened. And then after they got that information, it was like, oh, well, we got to arrest her now after they heard more of the story.
Well,
they weren't going to arrest her.
Well, here's the thing that Sarge would say. That baby mama got up there, went to that woman's house and was threatening that woman through her door. And that woman was scared for her life and she shot her.
It doesn't matter.
What do y'all say about that?
Well, no, as a matter of fact, that's the way I was explaining it to somebody. I said what most likely happened was that woman kids got messed with, and she was probably banging on that door and said, bitch, I know you in there. Come out of there, blah, 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 blah. But even, listen to what I'm saying, though. Listen to what I'm saying. Even if that was the case and she was banging on the door, that does not give anybody no right to shoot and kill her. If you could think of the worst behavior, that black lady was doing on the outside of that door, you still not supposed to shoot them.
Okay, I'm playing Sarge. I'm playing Sarge right now. But the law says if you're scared for your life and this woman is in her house, if you're scared for her life, then she has a right, according, I guess, to that damn law,
No.
to
That's
shoot her down.
That ain't the way stand your ground work. The stand your
Is
ground work.
that the way Sarge? I'm trying to be Sarge, nigga. You
No,
making me look
stand your
bad.
ground
I'm
don't
trying
work.
to be tough.
Stand your ground don't work in your house like that. You supposed to be confronted with somebody. Somebody's supposed to be threatening you, or or whatever. But it don't work in your house like that.
And
But don't you have more leeway in your house? Don't you have more leeway?
Not with her knocking on the door. It's a door knock, Howard. If you that means that you can shoot anybody that knock on your door. The Amazon guy.
Well, that's what they doing. That's what they doing. A woman, the little boy got knocked down knocking on somebody's door, and this woman got knocked down knocking on somebody's door. That's what they doing.
Well, it's illegal.
But that's the reason the old white man was arrested, because the boy knocked on the door. He opened the door and shot him through the storm door. Yeah. So you wasn't really fearing for your life if you open up the door and shoot somebody. You can't do that. That's why he was arrested. And this white woman, somebody knocked on your door. She might have been talking loud. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just made that up.
I didn't read or hear what the people in the neighborhood, what they said. Was she loud? Was she shouting? She could have been. I don't know. I have not found that out yet. But
Sister Lisa, you know dang on well if somebody stole your kid's iPad and hit them with a damn skate, you know when you go to the door, it ain't no. Hey, Miss Lisa. You coming with some force behind your throat.
No, if you look at that family's demeanor, I don't even think they like that, because I seen the mom talk, and I don't think they like that. That's just my opinion.
Well, if they wasn't like that, then her ass should have called the motherfucking police before even going to the door.
But she went to retreat. She should have called the police. I agree.
And y'all call me Sarge right now. That's the role I'm playing.
She went to the door to get the iPad and to ask her about throwing, the skates at the children. So you can knock.
Why she didn't call the police? Why she didn't call the police?
Because it's a neighborhood, man. You just want to go knock that shit out, make sure it don't happen no more, go home, eat your dinner. You ain't got to call the police for everything.
Okay, I'll give you a good example why she didn't call the police. My neighbor that lives across the way, she was out of town. She's the one that has I love her son. He's like 19, and he has horrible taste in girlfriends. During the entire quarantine and pandemic, his mother was down in North Carolina where she worked for the airline, so he was here alone. He's had trouble with his girlfriend. Well, anyway, last week his mother was out of town. I think she was in California. And this was Wednesday or Thursday last week. I heard all this shouting and this and that. I looked outside, looked across like the next building, the next house over. And I said, oh, he got another messy girlfriend. They're arguing. The girl jumped in the car, drove up the street. Young people, foolishness. And so I went on back about my business. And then I heard the dog screaming. Like the dog was here. He just got a new dog. And the dog was screaming. And you could tell the dog was in pain. And I was able to open the door, and I looked over there. And it looked like they were fussing and fighting. They slammed the door on the dog's foot. It's a puppy. And the puppy was screaming. I do not get involved in people's business. But the dog was screaming. I didn't see them, so I walked over there to see, if I could help get the dog's foot out the door. All this, because somebody might call the police. I'm not. These are neighbors. I'm not going to do that. And then he came and opened the door, and the dog's foot was hurt. I said, you take him inside. I said, you might have to take him to the vet and go see about his foot because it might be broke. He was like, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. That's what neighbors do. Even though you have a foolishness, I'm not calling the police because they over there and the dog is hurt. I'm not going to do that. Even if I don't like you, I'm not going to call just to call.
Let me ask you a question, Sister Lisa. And I'm since Sarge ain't here, I'm being Sarge right now. Do you think if the sister who kids got assaulted and stolen from, if she would have called the police, do you think that it's a better probability that she would be alive today now than dead?
Of course, in that situation, and we've had issues, I would have called the police. That's me. And that's just me. Especially if I'm not getting along with the neighbor and we're having all of this and that, and then you have stolen from my children and threw something at them. A lot of people don't believe in calling the police. This is something you can handle it, maybe argue, fuss a little bit, and it's over. But in that case, I would have called. That's me. I would have called, especially since she's stealing, and then she old white woman too. Yeah, I would call the police on her, and it would have turned out different. I would have called the police.
And in Florida,
not how she chose to handle it. And yeah,
and in the state of Florida, I'm not walking up on anybody's porch acting hostile. I'm just saying, because of the laws and shit, I'm not doing that, because that can get you killed and ain't nobody going to jail. I wouldn't do it in Florida.
No,
that's just me. I understand where Tyrone coming from. And
not in this case. Anywhere. Not in what transpired with this case. No, I would have called the police. That's me. But some people, they don't want to call the police on people. They would rather go argue it out, fuss it out. But in these days and times, you can't do that. You can't go over to nobody's house. Like in my situation last week, they good people. The dog was hurt. I was just like, I hope they finish their little fuss. You know, the dog foot is hurt. Let me go on over here. And he was so sweet. He gave me some cabbage yesterday that he got from his job. He was like, I got some vegetables, this, that. My job was, so I said, let me go ahead and take, because he was trying to make amends for the foolishness. So that's different. But I'm not going to call, I stuff like that. But in that case with that woman, yeah, I would have called the police on that woman, especially since she stole and then do something.
Hindsight is 2020. I would probably be like that woman too, and I've stepped to a dude. Listen, I got a story. This is like my youngest son now is going to be 20 years old. This time he might have been 4 or 5. It was a dude, and at this time we were staying in a place. This dude used to walk his dog, and you know, there'd be a lot of kids out, and my youngest son was scared of dogs, and he would play with the dog with my you know, getting his little rocks off, like, you know, fucking with my son. The kids came to my house like, you know, he's messing with your son, this and that, you know, scaring your son with the dog. I got my ass up. I didn't call the police. I got my ass up, went to that dude's house, had my shit, went to his house, knocked on the door, and kindly let him know about what he was doing. I didn't appreciate it. And if he had some issues, then we could take it in another way. Now, I did that. Now, if that dude would have said, I'm scared for my life and shot me, and I'm dead, then shit, I don't know. So I understand. But I'm saying maybe that ain't the smartest thing to do in my Sarge voice.
Not anymore.
You know,
well, Tyrone,
considering these times.
What would you do? You have children. What would you do?
No, I don't. I understand exactly what that lady did. Was she was trying to go confront that lady, probably just squash it or something. So, you know, I wouldn't have called the police though.
But if you were having issues with them and they stole, you would have went over there and see if you could talk and handle it.
Yeah, because it sounded like they already had a relationship over the last 2 years. They've been going back and forth anyway, so it won't like the lady was worried about being killed if she's interacted with that lady before.
I don't know. People are crazy now. People are crazy nowadays. I don't think you can even do that anymore.
I agree with you, Sister Lisa. I do not recommend you going up to any neighbor's house in a threatening type of manner if you guys or your kids have gotten into it. I'm saying this right now, and I'm a hood nigga. Man, don't be going up into nobody's house like that, because they'll gun your ass down, and they'll get away with it. I'm not. I'm saying don't do that shit. And I did it before. I gave you my story. I did it before, and I can probably give you a couple of other things why I done, showed up on a nigga doorstep. I'm saying don't do that shit. It might not end good for you.
But some things, like the kids is fighting and it's a bunch of mess, some things it's probably even smart to just let it go. But in a case like that, if the woman took the iPad and hit the child, you can't let that go. That you can't let go. You gotta call the police. But if it's
did she have the iPad? Was the mama going to retrieve the iPad? Was that part of the story?
Yeah, that's when I first heard the account, that they came in the house and they said that she took the iPad, and then when they went to get it, that she threw a skate, and threw a skate, I think it was, it hit one of the children, and they went home and told their mom. So she went over there to find out what was going on. That's my assumption, to get the iPad and to ask, I don't know, maybe she was going to jump, who knows, fuss at her about hitting her child. So but in a case like that, I will call the police. If it's just kids fighting and a big bunch of hoo-ha-ha, I probably would let it go and maybe go talk to the parents once a day or two later. Yeah, the kids was out here fighting. I'm so sorry about that. Just to keep the mess down. But in a case like this, if she took the child's property and she hit them with something, I would let the police handle that. That's just me. I'm saying that, but in my younger days, Tyrell, like I said, I would have been showing up at your doorstep too, but this shit, society has changed now. I don't know if you can do that.
Things are different.
That's what I'm saying.
Y'all right about that. Things are absolutely different.
Things are different. You can't do that kind of stuff no more. And people, you hate to call the police because you don't know who's going to show up. Is the police going to show up, or is thugs in a uniform going to show up? Like the little black boy who called the police, they had a mess that he ended up, was he 11? And ended up getting shot in the chest. So you take a chance when you call the police. If the police show up, great. But thugs in a uniform might. So that's the problem.
Damn, you saying it's a catch-22?
Yeah, it is. You don't know who's going to show up. And that's the problem with calling the police. That's why a lot of people don't want to call them. I'm hesitant to call them. But if it's something like that, I'm going to have to take a chance and call them. And hopefully the police will show up and we can get this situation resolved.
Yeah, these police nowadays are just looking to hurt somebody.
But even when it's not
the civilians are too. They looking to hurt somebody, Ty, and hide behind that. I was scared for my life. They doing it too.
They come and they escalate instead of de-escalating. They come and they escalate the situation, and you got a bigger mess than what it should have been from the beginning. So you're taking a chance and calling them because you don't know who's going to show up. I stand by that. You don't know who's going to show up. And that's the problem with calling the police.
Dang, this stuff all bad, y'all. I don't know what advice to give somebody.
You don't know what
I will
to
say this, man. Don't be running up on nobody's property. I will say that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't go to nobody's house. You might don't want to call the police, or some things you're just gonna have to hope for the best and call the law and let them handle it. That's what you're just gonna have to do. I used to be a big opponent. Somebody acting stupid, call the police. You'd be kind of scared to call them now.
Yeah, who's this unknown caller?
Man, don't no nigga here ever need to dare presume to be Sarge. Ever. Because you don't ever do what Sarge does. Because when Sarge talks about matters of the law, the first thing Sarge does is look at the law, which I have done. And that's where you start. If you're going to talk about whether someone's guilty or not, then you can have any opinion you want. But when you're going to bring somebody to court, it's got to be on the basis of the law, and I'm looking at the law in the state of Florida. I'm looking at it right now. It's right in front of me. Section 776.013, the same law I looked at in the Trayvon Martin case, in which I was right about every single thing that I said. So you want to hear what the law says in regard to this or not?
Go ahead, man.
All right, here's what the law says. Again, Chapter 776, Section 013. And a person is presumed to have held a reasonable fear of imminent peril of death or great bodily harm to himself or herself or another when using or threatening to use defensive force that is intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm to another if A, the person against whom the defensive force was used or threatened was in the process of unlawfully and forcefully entering or had unlawfully and forcibly entered a dwelling, residence, or occupied vehicle, or if that person had removed or was attempting to remove another against that person's will from the dwelling, residence, or occupied vehicle, and the person who uses it threatens to use defensive force knew or had reason to believe that an unlawful and forcible entry or unlawful and forcible act was occurring or had occurred. I am not taking anybody's side in this thing yet. I never do until I see the facts, circumstances, and how they match up with the law. And that's what I intend to do in this case. So since I haven't done it, but it is clear. Attempting is good enough if your fear is real. And no, Howard, it's not enough to say you have the fear of being harmed or killed. That won't do. Your fear must be seen to be reasonable, the same reasonable objective standard that has been in place ever since the beginning of common law jurisprudence in the colonies of Great Britain, when in North America, and subsequently the United States.
Okay, so let me say this right here, and don't cut me off. You as a former
must be seen to be reasonable.
Okay, so we listen to you. You as a
okay, I'll make sure you heard that, because you often don't hear what I say.
Okay, if you do that one more time. You as a former police officer with a dead body and a shooter, you're going to tell us that you're waiting to determine who's in the wrong. You have a career. I'm not done. You have a career of making assessments of these type of situations and not waiting for the judicial system to actually make a determination. As a former police officer, if you can't look at this case and say who's in the wrong right now, then something's wrong with you.
Wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. See, this is the problem. You jump to conclusions again, you goddamn bull frog. You stupid-ass leopard frog. You jump to conclusions again. I haven't said that I might not have made a probable cause arrest based on these circumstances. I didn't say that, now did I? I might have. I'm simply saying, though, when it comes to trial, since she's going to be indicted and she's going to go to trial, the question is whether or not my probable cause arrest will stand up. I mean, I've done things like this as a police officer and turned out the person got acquitted or the charges were dismissed. So I understand that, too. You don't seem to understand it.
No, you're the one who said, I'm not making up my mind right now.
Because I'm not a police officer and I'm not there to make the arrest.
Jesus.
I'm a citizen with an opinion and looking at some stuff people are reporting just like you. I'm no longer a police officer in a position to make decisions like that.
Then share your opinion. We ain't asking you to solve the goddamn
Well, that's
case.
what I'm doing. That's why I'm telling you. I'm going to wait. Now, if I was a police officer with more circumstances at hand, talking to witnesses and everything else, and the so-called suspect, then I might make a probable cause arrest.
So let me ask you this.
And I'm not in a position to do that, Tyrone. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, so let me ask you this. In that case in Florida, right, if a grand jury would have made a decision that lady who shot that other lady, if a grand jury would have made that decision, and that's the stage that we're at now, would you agree with that grand jury?
Depending upon, look, I don't know what evidence the grand jury sees. I'll wait for the indictment then, just like with Trump. And I want to get into that shit with Trump with your ass too, Negro.
Well,
but I'm just telling you, what I'm going to look for is, because remember, grand jury proceedings are secret. I don't know what they were shown. You don't know either. They're supposed to keep all that secret. That's the whole point of a grand jury. So I want to see what the indictment says. The indictment is what matters. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to see how the indictment comports with the evidence that has been revealed in the law. That's what I always do.
Okay, I'll just ask it, man. But it seems like you kind
I
of.
mean, what do you think, Soldier? I'm supposed to be running a lynch mob like you regularly do? No, I don't do that.
You're kind of hedging on your decisions right about now.
I'm not hedging on my decision. I'll tell you the way I do it every time. It's a uniform thing I do, just like the R.B. McMichael case. Whether we agree with it or not, that's exactly what I did.
You did not. You said he was
Whether we
guilty.
agree with it or not, that's exactly what I even revised some things I turned out to be wrong about, like the shoe, because the video quality was bad. And when I found out, okay, I made a mistake there, got to take that one back. What else is there?
What? You was wrong
But
about.
you're inflexible. You are not capable of revising your opinions in the light of new evidence or in the light of re-examined evidence.
Okay, so you was wrong about Laquan McDonald. You was wrong about Breonna Taylor.
No, I wasn't. I was right about Laquan McDonald. I was right. I said all along that that looked like the city council was involved in a cover-up. I said it in the very beginning.
No, you didn't.
You're the one that didn't do that. You don't ever listen to what I said. I need to yell at you more often.
You changed your mind after you saw the video.
Again, no, I told you. I know what I did.
Sorry, before the
Now,
video.
look, see what gets me. See, I have experience with law enforcement. I know how to look at these things. You don't. You're emotional. You're racial. You're racialist. You hate this country. You hate this system. You don't trust the police. I get it.
Okay, so
but
hold
since
on.
you're not in a position to have done it, and understand that when it goes to trial, you have to have measures of proof, you have to have evidence, and you got to line it up with the law, then you're incapable of seeing someone who actually does that more often than not.
Okay, so I'm emotional, and you're yelling over me.
Yeah, you are.
And you're yelling over me.
Yeah, I'm yelling over. Can you listen?
So who's emotional?
You're always saying some shit I said that I didn't say.
Okay, anyway, like I was saying, you was wrong about Breonna Taylor. You was wrong about
I wasn't wrong about Breonna Taylor. I was upheld in most of what happened with Breonna Taylor. But what happened against those police officers was mainly administrative by their police department. The Louisville Police Department.
Okay, well.
Not on matters of criminal law.
All right, anyway, the lady in
Yeah,
Florida.
so stop with that too. You always forget things.
Okay, the lady in Florida, do you think manslaughter is a good charge or should she been charged with something else?
It could be. I'm not saying either way. I want to see what the indictment says.
Stop being a bitch and make a damn
I'm being a bitch, nigga. You're the one being a bitch. Bitches go crazy and go on lynch mobs. That's what bitches do.
Why are you...
People who understand the law and the rule of law look at the rule of law, which is what I'm doing.
Why are you screaming, though? Like, what the
Because you're a hard-headed nigger roach.
Okay, well, I'm not going to scream at you. But manslaughter, I think it should have been murder.
It might be. Maybe she had maybe her enmity against this person. Clearly, they had a blood feud going on. Maybe her enmity against us was of such a nature that she just waited for an opportunity to get to kill this woman. It could be murder. I'm not excluding it. And by the way, the deal with this woman could be entirely guilty of a battery against those children by throwing a skate at them. And she could also theoretically be innocent with regard to her use of deadly force in a self-defense situation. Both could be true.
No, not in this situation.
No, well, you don't know, neither do I.
Not in this situation, Sarge. Sarge, you can't shoot nobody through the door.
That's what Joe Biden said you could do.
You can't shoot
You better
nobody.
go listen to your president.
As a police officer, can you shoot somebody that knock on your fucking
Joe
door?
Biden said you could. He's the commander-in-chief of the United States.
Fuck all this
He
shit.
said you could shoot through the door with your shotgun.
I'm asking you as a former police
If you were
officer.
threat, you could shoot through the door with your shotgun.
Okay,
You didn't need an AR-15 because you could do it with your shotgun through the door.
Okay, I'm asking you as a former police officer, can
I
you
mean,
shoot
God, man, you don't believe in Joe Biden anymore?
Okay, I'm asking you as a former police officer, can you shoot someone that knock on your goddamn door?
It depends on the circumstances. You have
Sarge,
to
you
be
can't
able to be
shoot
sure
nobody
whoever
that
you're shooting against
You can't
presents
shoot
an
nobody
imminent
knocking
threat against you. If the person whom you are shooting through the door presents an imminent threat because they're getting ready to shoot through the door, yes, you could.
Sarge, you can't shoot nobody through the
Do
door.
you not understand that everything is circumstance dependent?
Hey guys, if y'all listen to the Sarge, you can't shoot
Why
nobody
is it
through
so
the door.
hard to get you to understand that?
I'm not talking to you no more. You can't shoot
I
nobody.
know you're not, but you know I've got beating your ass.
You know you're not. Guys, you can't shoot nobody through the door. So I don't know what the fuck this former police officer is
I'm
talking
going to
about.
say it again. I know where people have done exactly that and it was legally justified. That's not
Bullshit.
true.
Bullshit.
true.
You're lying.
If you can show
This
that
is
there's
what
a
get me.
reasonable reason for you to
This
shoot
is
through the
what
door,
get me
you can
about
shoot
you.
through the
You
door.
will lie to
Police
try to prove.
officers have done it. Police officers have done it.
You will lie to try to get your point across. You can't shoot
It's just
nobody.
amazing to me what you don't know.
You can't. Okay, let me use the case in Florida. The reason that you can't shoot nobody through the door is because that bitch is going to jail.
Okay, let me
Stupid
explain you
ass.
something. Here's the reason why most of the time you can't shoot through the door, because you can't identify your target. And you can't see what the target on the other
You
side is
can't
doing.
do it.
Most of the time. That's the reason why you can't. If you can't see what the other target on the other side of the door is doing, then you don't know whether that person presents an imminent peril to you or not. That's why there's a presumption that you can't shoot somebody through the door. It's not an absolute prohibition, you goddamn idiot.
Okay, so stop cutting me off. But listen, we're talking about this dynamic down there in Florida. We know what the situation was. The lady was knocking on the door. She shot through the door. That's what we're talking about. Okay, that's the only thing that we're talking about. So
Again, I'm waiting for the circumstance to be revealed at evidentiary proceedings, like a trial,
all right,
or the indictment.
Who's this new caller?
Jesus.
Hey, how you doing?
Just fine. Can I explain something?
Go ahead.
Well, when the sheriff in Florida, he came and he said after he finished the investigation, it would not be a stand your ground case, and he wanted people to understand that stand your ground cases, and that was not one. He's after he talked to the children, and he did all of his investigation, and that's why they went and arrested her. So somebody can find all kind of ways and all kind of laws and all kind of things, obstacles to stand in the way of the truth. So you look up the article when he came out and spoke and see what he said. Facts, truth. Lies have to keep rolling. Truth stands by itself. So just look up the article when he came out and he was discussing what happened. So the lady had no reason to be taking those kids, whatever the laptop or whatever it was that she broke.
Stand your ground is not presumed in a case where you're in your residence. You always have the right to stand your ground when you're in your house. So stand your ground does never apply in a case where you're in your residence or your dwelling. It never applies.
You go strike 5, but you know, heads.
Stand your ground applies when you're on the street or somewhere else.
I have something else to say. You don't sit
It's an illegal explanation. She knows more than me.
Okay,
Let me know. I'm just telling you what the person that did the investigation said.
And I agreed with you, and I explained to you why it doesn't. Because you're in your home, you are presumed to have the right to stand your ground in a home. You don't need to invoke it.
Standing your ground. What was she? If it's not going to be a standing ground case, so what does that standing ground got to do with it? This is not a Trayvon Martin case.
I'm agreeing with you, Mace, but you're too thick-headed to realize that I am. I elaborated on what you said.
Let me get back to my other point.
I know. Go ahead. Keep going.
I watch Newsmax and I watch Fox. Now, this is the rhetoric. Trump has been indicted by a grand jury. A grand jury now, people. Not the person that was doing the investigation, but a grand jury that did it. So all coming out of their mouth is Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. I'm saying, like, are they connected to this case? This is what Fox News Fox is not news, but Fox Saturday Night Live. This is what they're trying to spread. And
that's all they do is that whataboutism. They don't talk about this.
And this one preacher, he was about to cry on Fox. He was so told because of what happened. And then let the facts take care of itself. And the law will put him in jail if he did something wrong. They don't talk about the things that he did wrong, but they won't take that away from that that he didn't do anything. He's been doing things for years. Ask his niece and ask his lawyer for 10 years what he been doing. So eventually you're going to run out of trying to take people to court. And I think he, just like I said, Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall, and all the key men like Sergeant can't put them back together again. And I'm tired of them talking about a Joe Biden and Hunter Biden.
Okay.
The Biden family. But you notice, Tyrone, they say the Biden family, but they won't say the Trump family. And if they weren't going to arrest him, why did they keep asking these people that's running for president, would they pardon him if they weren't going to send him to jail?
They knew this was coming.
That's why they're saying this. But you
like I did, like I
coming.
knew this was coming. I'm not shocked and I'm not surprised. I've been studying on the likelihood of what the charges are, and I'm prepared to comment on it, Tyrone.
We want you to. We want you to do it.
If you're ready, whenever you're ready, just let me know.
We want you to do it through the Constitution.
Whenever you're ready, Tyrone, just let me know.
That's how we want you to explain it.
Tyrone, whenever you're ready, just let me know.
I heard you.
I'm not going to try to explain it to her. She'll never understand it.
You don't even know what they
I'm not going to try to explain it to her. She'll never understand it.
Yeah, and they're gonna be down there in Georgia next, and they're gonna get a whole lot of people that was involved for all them votes.
Whenever you're ready, Tyrone, let me know.
I will.
How you gonna be ready and you don't know what the charges are? So you already ready?
If you're ready, Tyrone, let me know.
I want to defend wrong, so I'm gonna tell you that'll be your 8th time of being wrong, and I was the one that called you on it. So Tyrone, you have a nice evening. I just gave my opinion of what I thought.
All right, thank you. Sarge, I guess you can
And you
speak
have
on
a-
that.
I can't take yes for an answer. I'm agreeing with her, and then she still wanted to fight me over it.
Wait a minute, Elisa trying to say something. Go ahead, Elisa.
Yeah, Tyrone, you said you saw a video of Jamie Foxx today. When I heard you say that,
Yeah.
where did you see that at?
It was on YouTube. It was a YouTube short. And he was saying,
Sure
he
it
was
a
thanking
new
everybody.
Video?
Huh?
You sure it was a recent video?
Well, I'll try to find it right quick. But go ahead, Sarge,
Okay.
and I'll send it to you.
All right, first of all, this is an aside. I don't want to get bogged down in this because you'll never give me enough time to deal with this one. You'll never will until you say you're ready. But this is aside. This is related to something else that you said earlier. Trump did not present a false slate of electors. He did exactly what the Republicans did in the case of 1960 when the state of Hawaii overturned its initial slate of electors, and Nixon presented an alternate slate of electors in case the challenge to his election was not sustained. And that's exactly what Trump did. He didn't present a phony case of it. He didn't present an alternate. He didn't say they were certified by the state of Georgia. He didn't say put any phony signatures from a certifying official on the slate. That's bullshit. But whenever you're ready to go into the legal ins out, it's identical to what happened in 1960 when the initial electoral vote in the state of Hawaii for Nixon was overturned after an appeal to the electoral board of the state of Hawaii and changed to Kennedy. It's exactly the same thing. And nobody tried to convict either Kennedy or Nixon of a crime. But that's another story. Let's go on with the charges that are against Trump now. Okay, let's forget that. We'll deal with that another day. I'm not interested in narratives right now. I'm interested in the indictment. And since I don't have the indictment, I haven't read it yet. I've only got 7 counts. I've been studying on this for at least 2 weeks now because I've anticipated this indictment. I'm not shocked. I'm not crying. I've expected it, and it's come. But I've got enough information now to get an idea of where they're going with it, and I've already made some preliminary conclusions. Now, you remember, okay, now, first of all, before I get started, since you've been talking shit all goddamn night, I don't do this very often because I like to be concise and succinct, and I will be. Trust me, I will be. But you got to give me time to explain it. And if you ain't going to give me the time to explain it, fuck it. You go ahead and keep on there.
What the fuck? Stop making... Wait a minute. You shut up right quick. Stop making threats and telling me what you is and ain't going to do. Nigga, you got the mic. I didn't cut you off. So
well, that's only a matter of time.
Good Lord. Well, Maze,
that's only a matter of time.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Now, you remember what happened in the George Zimmerman case with witness number 8, Rachel Jeantel, and how they had us all that build-up going on, and then all of a sudden they brought Rachel Jeantel to jail, and they asked her to explain the note she's supposed to have written, and it was written in cursive, and he said, I can't read cursive, because she wasn't a witness. She wasn't the one who wrote it. She was a counterfeit witness to Benjamin Crump and Angela Corey, and the state attorney put up there on the stand. They didn't have no case without her, because they couldn't have gotten an indictment without her. They had to make her up out of whole cloth. That was the whole goddamn thing. This case is just like that in that respect. Just like that. Here's what they're doing. Like I said, they put Rachel Jeantel on the stand because they didn't have no choice. They had to make up an imaginary witness to force the prosecution. And when people talk about the Department of Justice and this guy, Jack Smith, bringing an indictment against President Trump, They got to indict Trump for the same reason Angela Corey had to put Rachel Jeantel on the stand, and she didn't write the note because she couldn't read verses, or she couldn't write verses because she didn't write the damn note. The political narrative cases have to continue no matter what the evidence is or ain't. It's lawfare. It's a construct intended to manipulate public opinion. So here's what they're doing. Here's what they're running into the problem. I'm talking about the Department of Justice. They've run headfirst into the problem that President Trump declassified all the documents he had in Mar-a-Lago. He wrote a letter to the National Registry on January 19th, 2021, when he was still president, declassifying all of the documents in the Crossfire hurricane event. It's on the record. He sent it to the National Registry. They ran into that problem, and they know it. They know he declassified that. So here's the problem for them. So here's what they're relying on now. This is what I believe they're relying on.
Your line.
Yeah, we can tell they got a music. Here's what I believe they're relying on now. It's called 18 United States Code 793. I ain't narrating. I'm giving an opinion based on fact and the law. I ain't narrating. It's 18 United States Code 793. It was a law that they created in 1948 to stop contractors to the Defense Department from stealing, selling, or copying U.S. defense system secrets or patents on defense products. You go read the law, you'll see that's what it is. And they're saying, here's how the media is trying to spin this. They're trying to say that the prosecutors are asking grand juries, they already did, ask grand juries to prove an indictment for violating this statute 793, which prohibits you from gathering, transmitting, or losing any information respecting the national defense. And the use of Section 93 does not make reference to classified information. It's understood to be a decision by prosecutors, which has been confirmed by prior federal court cases, that has been made to short-circuit Trump's ability to claim he uses authority to declassify the documents he took from the White House and kept in Mar-a-Lago. And they wrote the law in a way that could encompass Mr. Trump's conduct, even if he was authorized to possess the information as president, because the law says this: anyone who, quote, lawfully, note the word being used here, lawfully, has possession of, access to, control over, or being entrusted with any document relating to the national defense and willfully communicates, delivers, transmits, or causes to be communicated, delivered, or transmitted, or attempts to communicate, deliver, transmit, or cause to be communicated, delivered, or transmitted the same to any person not entitled to receive it, or willfully retains the same and fails to deliver it on demand to the officer or employee of the United States entitled to receive it, can be punished by as many as 10 years in prison. So, Department of Justice is now stretching this code 793 to claim that any document the government designates, meaning Department of Justice, designates as a national security document is also a national defense document. Now, I'm certain of this because the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled the Department of Justice can label whatever it wants in any form it wants as long as the Department of Justice says it's a national security interest, so therefore it becomes a national security interest. And this ruling came from their arguments over the Mar-a-Lago documents, all right? They gave an opinion of court. I'm looking at the opinion of the court on this, and it does exactly that. So, if the Department of Justice says a box of Cheerios is a national security interest, the judicial branch accepts that all Cheerio boxes that they offer are national security concerns. It doesn't matter what the Trump documents are, as long as the Department of Justice claim they are vital national security interests. So, in the previous ruling of these documents, the 11th Circuit Court did what the FISA Court did with the Department of Justice in any manner defined by the main justice as national security. They deferred all the definitions to the Department of Justice. So in other words, they're putting the administrative state over the president because Article 2 of the United States Constitution, which is supreme and above every other law in the land. I don't care what these motherfuckers say. It is. Article 2 says the executive power shall be vested in that's singular, president of the United States of America, not the executive branch agencies. Get it? That would include Mr. Potato Head Corruptocrat, Joe fucking Biden. And it definitely included President of the United States, Donald John Trump. So we know this is bullshit. Anybody's going to be able to say it's bullshit. It's a political prosecution, and it should not stand if you're going to stand a rule of law if it's as I think it is. That's why I'm waiting to read the indictment.
You done now?
I got it off my chest. Now you
I'm
respond.
glad, but you just wound yourself around the fucking axles with some bullshit. Look, here's the bottom line, guys. When Donald Trump left the White House, he took documents that he wasn't supposed to take. Fine. I give him to that at that point. He was asked to return the documents. He did not return the documents. He lied at first and said he didn't have any. Then he got into negotiation with NARA and turned over part of the documents, signed a piece of paper saying that he turned over all the documents. They did a second search. They found more documents. Now, Sargent ain't mentioning none of that fucking finagling that Donald Trump did. So he was trying to hold on to the documents, even though he told the Department of Justice that he turned over everything. And they continued to find more documents. And a day before the FBI got there, they moved the documents from one location to the storage room that Sarge says was so secure, according to the CCTV footage. And before the FBI got there, what they did to try to destroy the CCTV footage was one of Donald Trump's employees flooded the goddamn security room by emptying the pool into that security room trying to destroy evidence. Sergeant ain't saying none of that shit. But my point is, you done got yourself wound around the axles with this crazy ass excuse that you just came up with. But the bottom line is, a fucking grand jury came up with enough reasons to indict Donald Trump, period. All that shit you just said don't even matter. He's criminally indicted with felonies.
You don't believe in a presumption of innocence. You
So
just don't.
it doesn't matter. None of that shit you just said, it doesn't matter. That's not Jack.
I'll tell you what here.
No,
I'm
let me
willing to
finish.
concede-
Let me finish. Niggas, you shut
Hey.
up. You shut up. That's not Jack
Tyrone.
Smith. No, let me finish. That's not Jack Smith. That's not Democrats. That's a grand jury of, I think, 12 people coming up with the same decision saying that we found enough reason for this guy to be criminally charged. Now I'm done.
And that's why a grand jury never convicts anybody. It takes a jury of his peers coming to a unanimous decision, not a majority decision of 23 fucking jurors. So get off that shit. So listen to me. But here's the thing, Tyrone. See, look, Tyrone, I'm willing to concede that what I just said may not, because I haven't read the indictment. Unlike you, I keep saying I got to read the indictment. So my theory might get tossed in a hot hat. So you know what? I'm not even saying it's correct. I'm saying based on what I know. I haven't. You're making all kinds of conclusions. You ain't read the goddamn indictment. I'm gonna know a whole lot more on Tuesday when they release the indictment. Then I'll be able to put together a solid opinion about it. Right now, it is tentative. But based on everything I've heard, I think it's more correct than not.
So let me ask you this. On Tuesday, right? Let's say everything don't go in your favor, right? Would you still support Donald Trump if you discover through the charges that he committed crimes?
Listen to me. Ain't nothing going to be proven on Tuesday. They're going to present an indictment against him. Here's my opinion about the whole thing, not necessarily based in fact or law. I think this whole goddamn thing is an attempt to stop him from running, because that guy gets back in office, he's going to do his level best to destroy this deep state, bureaucratic, administrative state, and they'll do anything. They're pulling out all the stops to keep him from getting back in the White House. I've never seen anything like it. And I know that's what it is without any proof. But I will be willing to concede one thing when I read the indictment. At least I'll know whether I'm right or wrong about this theory of mine. And again, I say it is a theory, but it is based upon everything I've been able to discern up till now.
Well, I can tell you now you're wrong.
You always do it, I'm usually right.
Well, you're wrong. No, you're not, Sarge. You won't write about Uranium One.
I was right about Aaron
was
Wilson.
not right
I was
about
right
the
about
caravans.
Trayvon Martin.
Shut up, nigga.
I was right about George Zimmerman.
Shut up.
I was
Shut
right
up.
about a whole many things, but you always say I'm wrong, and I'm always right.
Okay, so you shut up. Listen to this rundown. You was not right about Hillary Clinton going to jail. You won't write about Uranium One. You won't write about the caravans coming over the fucking southern border. You won't write about damn Obama going to jail. You won't write about Obama's birth certificate. You won't write about Hunter Biden. You won't write about none of that shit, Sarge. So stop it. You wrong. You've been wrong for 10.
Every single thing you said I was wrong about, I was right about. Here's the only thing I was wrong about. When I thought when the evidence was presented that indicated there ought at the very least be a grand jury convened, if not a grand jury indictment obtained, that there wasn't even a grand jury convened. On that, I was completely wrong. It was the only thing I was wrong about. There was more than enough evidence to show that Hillary Clinton violated the Espionage Act. There's more than enough information to show that Joe Biden is guilty of mishandling classified information. There's more than enough evidence to show that Joe Biden is selling the influence of his office to foreign entities for money. There's more than enough evidence to show he's engaged in obstruction of justice. There's more than enough. Now, the authorities are corrupt and determined to cover up for these people and refuse to do anything, even when the evidence is revealed, then you know what? That's on them. That's not on me.
Okay,
I
so
was
listen.
right about the nature of the evidence and what it reveals.
Okay,
what I
listen.
was wrong about was the willingness of the authorities to do the right thing in response to revealing it.
Okay, so listen. Now, don't cut me off. There is evidence to prove to a grand jury that Donald Trump should be indicted on criminal charges. In New York, there was evidence to prove to a grand jury that Donald Trump should be criminally charged for business fucking fraudulent transactions, right? So now you're saying that there's evidence on the other side. Why the fuck is it taking you 10 fucking years to produce not even one piece of fucking evidence? You're screaming that there's more than enough evidence, but none has been presented whatsoever. The reason that you know that the evidence has been presented on the other side because Donald Trump has been charged criminally and civilly because of fucking evidence.
I have shown you conclusive evidence to include the very template that was used to create Barack Obama's counterfeit birth certificate.
Oh, God.
I've shown you the evidence of it, and you ignored it just like the authorities ignored it. We have proven conclusively by forensic evidence, by electronic forensic evidence, by using Adobe Photoshop, by disassembling the goddamn document into 50,000 layers, by overlaying the template that was used to manufacture the counterfeit birth certificate, and the handwritten marks perfectly aligned, but you still choose to ignore. I don't know what to do with you when you do that. There's nothing to do. When the authorities are presented with that evidence and don't do anything about it, it's not on me.
Okay,
it's
so
on
I see-
them.
I
They
see-
willfully turned a blind eye to it because they want to protect this man.
Okay, so I see the problem.
It's like that with everything else with these deep state bastards.
Okay, so I see the problem then. Presenting the evidence to Tyrone don't mean a hell of goddamn beans. It don't mean shit to present evidence to me. What they need to do is present the evidence in a court of law or before a goddamn grand jury so you can have something to back up these goddamn claims. To this day, what you don't, shut the fuck up, nigga. To this day, you don't have anything, shut up. Shut up. To this day, you don't, shut up. You don't have anything, shut the fuck up. You don't have anything that went through a court proceeding. Will you shut the fuck up? You don't have anything that went through a court proceeding to back what you saying up whatsoever. Nothing.
Again, when the judge won't admit it into trial, you're right.
Well,
It's still evidence.
you don't have any evidence.
It's evidence that's not being allowed to be examined at an adversarial court proceeding. It's still evidence.
Okay, it's not evidence, Sarge.
Nigga, when I was in crime scene, I collected evidence and sent it to the evidence custodian before anybody was even arrested or indicted. It was evidence because I had to submit it to an evidence custodian. And there was no suspect yet. What's wrong? Man, I swear to God, man, you need to get out a legal dictionary.
No, you need to put it down.
Who in a court case, so you didn't have no evidence? What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, guys, the former president of the United States has been indicted criminally with felony charges. And this motherfucking idiot is trying to find a way to defend him. I don't get it. What does he have to do?
No, I still have. Look, I just told you what I think they're doing. I keep telling you I have not yet read the indictment. You haven't either, and you're making all kind of conclusions from it.
I thought you guys were the law and order
When you're
party.
going to read the indictment and then make some conclusions or opinions about it, isn't that more of a basis to make some sound opinions from?
Well,
read the damn indictment first. I'm waiting for it too.
If a grand jury makes a decision, that's good enough for me. Now,
That's what lynch my execution first, trial later.
I thought you guys was the law and order party.
Execution first, trial later. Yeah, you're real a law and order guy.
What happened to law and order?
Execution first, trial later.
This is incredible. You guys just say the hell with the law now, huh?
I just said read the indictment. That's where you start. That's where defense lawyer is going to start, reading the indictment.
Okay, so
I guarantee you on Tuesday, when they present the indictment to Donald Trump and his defense attorneys, they're going to start there because the defense, the prosecution has approved every element in that indictment.
Is the grand jury part of the legal process?
Nigga, what did I just say?
I'm asking you a question now.
When I use the word indictment, I am recognizing it has come from a duly convened grand jury.
Okay, so that's good enough for me right now.
I just used the word indictment.
So that's good enough for me right there.
So,
Okay.
I know you're incapable of linear thinking, but try to think linearly for a moment.
So your dumb ass have to wait on some goddamn paperwork, but I trust the grand jury.
I know, you just, like you said, execution first, trial later.
No, the grand jury said the man is guilty of crimes. Period.
Yeah, the grand jury don't make no findings of guilt, but the grand jury makes findings of probable cause. That's all.
Well, they found enough probable cause.
How are they going to make findings of guilt when the only side presented is the prosecution's?
They found enough probable
Do you understand what adversarial proceeding is?
They found enough probable cause to indict him on crimes, did they not?
Okay, and why didn't you say that?
Did they not?
Then I wouldn't argue with you.
Didn't they indict him on crimes? Felonies.
Okay, for the 10th time now, yes.
Okay, so he's a goddamn crook.
I mean, he's guilty. Execution first, trial later.
You talk about all this shit about black fucking criminals. You come on here and tell us how criminal our fucking community is.
Yeah,
but whenever your fucking goddamn cult leader, shut the fuck up. Whenever your goddamn cult leader, whenever your cult leader is committing fucking crimes, you won't call him out.
Or were convicted.
Whenever your cult leader's committing crimes, you won't call him out, but you'll come on here and talk about the
You're
criminality.
You're running out of arguments like you always do. You got no endurance. You run out of steam real quick.
Oh, Jesus. There's something wrong with you, Sarge. I understand that you in a cult, but goddamn it, you got to let that shit go sometime.
Like I said, I wasn't shocked by this indictment. I wasn't crying either. I was expecting it. They want to get this man no matter what they got to do. That's clear as a bell.
So you telling me Donald
Especially when they're ignoring what's going on with this senile corruptocrat in the White House.
Donald Trump ain't did nothing wrong.
I don't know if he has. I doubt if he's done anything wrong based on what he's being accused of.
So you saying that he's an innocent man?
I don't know what. I'm not with you. Sounds so 24 hours. I don't know what he's done wrong or not. All I know is what they're accusing him of.
They're accusing him of crimes. You saying that he didn't commit those crimes?
I am saying that if what did I tell you? I've not told you this is a theory, and I'm basing it on what I know. It's a theory. It could be wrong when I read the indictment.
Are you
I'm
saying?
basing it on what I know already.
Are you saying Donald Trump did not?
I know what Article 2 of the Constitution says, and that's more important to me than any fucking thing Jack Smith comes up with.
Are you saying Donald Trump did not commit the crimes he's been indicted on?
Okay, I'm going to say to you again, I don't know what the crime is because I haven't read the indictment.
So you don't trust the grand jury process then?
Okay, see, this is what I mean. I answer your questions and you keep asking the same goddamn.
I'm trying to.
I'm answering the question. I don't know if he's done anything wrong. I doubt if he's done anything wrong of which he's being accused.
Do you trust the grand jury process?
No, not really. But I have to accept it.
Well, you don't think he did?
No, I don't trust, but I have to accept it, and I will. Now, I'm going to read the indictment and see what it purports to show.
You can't have it both ways. Either you trust the grand jury or you don't. You the one who wore a goddamn badge. What? Not me.
Where'd you go? You mute yourself.
No, can you hear me? Hello? Oh, Jesus. Wait a minute. Oh, Jesus.
This service is provided in high definition by freeconferencecallhd.com. There are 4 participants in the conference. Q&A session has started. The recording has started.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, Jesus. Is my line gone? Is anybody on here?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I don't know what happened. Sarge, you still on here? I don't know what happened. I guess he done screamed his damn self off the damn phone.
I couldn't hear you at first, but I can hear you now though.
I had to hang up and call back in. I don't know what happened. I guess he done screamed himself off the damn phone. Crazy fucker. Oh, here, this might be him. Is that
Man,
you?
you had to hang up on me. You just couldn't handle that truth, could you?
No, I had to hang up and call in. I thought you had hung up on me.
I was asking what you got to say to that. I know what the indictment purports to show if and when I read it.
No, I was asking you, do you trust the grand jury process?
And this one, no. I don't trust this grand jury. I don't trust anything this deep state's been pulling against Trump ever since they lied to get FISA warrants to spy on his campaign and on his presidency, and they haven't acknowledged yet what they did.
Okay, so
no, I don't trust them. But I have to accept it because they're the ones that got the authority to do it right now.
So you don't think these indictments are
I
legitimate?
just said I don't trust it at all.
So
and I mean it.
So the indictment charges, you don't think that they're legitimate?
No.
Okay, so you think Trump didn't
No,
do it?
I still got to read them, but no, I don't think I'm going to do it even if I read it. I don't think so, no.
So you don't think Trump did anything then?
Not what I think they're going to accuse him of. I told you, I got to read the indictment. How many times I got to say it?
And you said something earlier that's just a lie. When you said Donald Trump has the power to declassify, this case ain't got nothing to do with declassification of records, Sarge. You know that, right?
What did I just say? Did you not just hear my explanation? I told you, they're using Section 739. They're going to try to twist it to fit Trump. It doesn't have anything directly to do with declassifying documents. That's what I said. You apparently didn't listen to me. I wasn't yelling loud enough.
I told you that months ago.
Well, I told you that. I said the declassification issue is not going to be that big a deal, I don't think.
Well, I've been said that.
All right, well, look, I put a fine spin on it. I looked at the statute that he's likely to be using. Because he knows that Donald Trump declassified those documents. He put a letter in a national register before he left office. It's in the official records of the United States government.
No, listen, brother. When they went down to Mar-a-Lago, the three laws that he broke, it's clear. Neither one of those ain't got nothing to do with classification, Sarge. Neither one of them.
What did I just say?
So
I know what they're trying to do. They're waging lawfare. I know lawfare when I see it. I know corrupt prosecutions when I see them.
The Espionage Act ain't got shit to do with classification.
I didn't say anything about the Espionage Act. I said they're trying to do that. He violated this law that was intended for defense contractors, not the President of the United States.
It's intended for American
Because
citizens.
all executive authority is vested in the President.
Listen.
The only reason he's got all these people in these agencies to help him is because there's too much shit for one person to keep track of. He delegates his authority to them, not the other way around. They don't delegate their authority to the President. Sarge,
listen. There is no law that we're talking about that's only for defense fucking contractors. Where the fuck you getting that from?
I didn't say it was that. Okay, listen to me carefully. See, I gotta swear to God. I don't know. I try to use English with you. You know what I'm saying? I said the law was intended to get defense contracts, but it can be applied to anyone to whom it fits. It originated with defense contractors who were misusing information.
Well, that's
That's
irrelevant.
what gave them the inspiration to pass the law.
That's irrelevant. It applies to American citizens, period.
But I said it applies to anyone to whom it applies. That's why I should have said that instead.
Yeah, you should have, because that defense.
All right, well, now I'm saying it. Let's move on.
Good Lord.
God.
Sorry, listen, after all this time, you've been wrong about Trump, man. That's all
Oh, man,
I know.
I've been right about everything I done said. Everything I done said they did. I mean, they spied. You know, the whole Russia collusion was bullshit now. Are you willing to admit that, or are you going to say that's still true? Peeing on the bed with hookers? He's a tool of Vladimir Putin. Adam Schiff has got information to conclusively prove Trump's being handled by the FSB in Moscow.
Paul Manafort.
Come on.
Paul Manafort.
Where's the evidence of it? Nowhere. Even the Mueller investigation revealed that not to be true.
Paul Manafort, Michael Flynn.
Here we go again. Now who's deflecting?
Nobody's deflecting. That was part of the Russia investigation. That was part of the Russia investigation, you idiot. Those people went to jail.
Now, let me tell you how the Russia investigation got started. There was a CIA contractor in Greece who, when George Papadopoulos was visiting Greece, had a talk with him at the bar. And over bar talk, he was talking about initiatives because he was like an analyst the Trump campaign had hired, a low-ranking analyst. And he was talking about things that Trump was doing, considering initiatives involving Russia and everything else. And this guy took it, ran back to the CIA with it, and said that it looked like Donald Trump was being handled, or possibly people in his campaign were being handled by Russian operatives over bar talk. That's how the whole fucking thing got started. And that's how the Christopher Steele dossier got started. That's how the DNC paid for the Christopher Steele dossier. And then Steele got offered $1 million by the FBI if he could corroborate the evidence in a dossier. He went back to his Moscow contact, said no, they couldn't corroborate any of the evidence in a dossier, and the FBI nonetheless used this uncorroborated evidence to go to a FISA court, get a FISA warrant, and renew it 3 more fucking times. And you still hold on to that shit or won't admit it was bullshit.
Okay, Sarge, everything that you just said is a lie. There was a lot of evidence in the dossier that was not corroborated, but there was a lot of evidence in the dossier that was, Sarge.
What was the corroborated evidence? Tell me.
I went through it here on the goddamn
show.
No.
You tell me the biggest thing out of it. Just one thing. Just one thing.
Sarge, I went through it here on the show.
But you don't know it because there wasn't anything.
Do I?
You're lying, Tyrone. You're a lying bastard. You're the lying motherfucker. Tell me what the biggest thing in there was, because it wasn't.
Well, you know what? I have to go back and dig.
Yeah, you're full of shit. You're like Adam shit. You and Adam shit are molded out of the same mold and cloth of bullshit. Both of you.
I don't even know.
You ain't got no evidence. You just say you do, and then you never deliver.
I'm trying to figure out why you screaming.
Because you're a liar, Lyrone.
Oh. But anyway, guys, the Steele dossier, some of it was corroborated and some of it wasn't. So, Sarge.
What was the biggest thing that was corroborated?
Sarge.
That he was elected president?
I don't know. It might have been him pissing on the damn Russian bed.
Okay, well, there you go. You got nothing. Like I said, you got nothing.
Jesus Christ. You got some issues, man. The guy's a criminal, man. That's just a and don't that's not even mentioned.
Credible evidence that he is or was. I'll be happy to entertain it. You never do. You just narrate that he is.
He is, because he got charged in New York, and let's not even mention Fannie Willis. I mean, shit, that shit is still on the damn burner.
Okay, what was in the Steele dossier that we know isn't true, or at least at the very least uncorroborated? Do you want to admit to that, or you just want to say I don't know or whatever? Because I'm prepared to give you a
listen to what I'm telling you. I remember doing a show on that whole goddamn dossier, and I remember pointing out some things that actually happened. That's how I know that it was corroborated. Some of it was, and some of it was bullshit.
Some things, son. Some things. That's it. And you can't remember one of them some things, huh?
No, because I don't have the Steele dossier right there.
But it seems to me like it's just so obvious they should stick in your mind. I mean, the pea shit sticks out, doesn't it? Nothing else does?
No, man, I don't live on that shit like you do.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, Lord have mercy, man. I swear to God. You know, I think they just might wind up convicting Donald Trump because, I mean, the corruption is vast. But I know one damn thing. If there's such a thing as a rule of law in this country, it shouldn't be likely. It just shouldn't. Whether you hate Trump or not.
You said he ain't broke no laws.
I don't know if I keep telling you I don't know if he did. Based
Then why
upon
you say he
all
shouldn't be convicted?
accusations against him that I have seen, I am singularly unconvinced that he did. There may be something yet to be revealed that he did do that was illegal. How the hell do I know?
Because you just made a statement. If the rule of law in this country exists, he shouldn't be convicted. That's what you just said.
Not on this.
That's what you
On
just said.
something with solid evidence that he did something wrong. Not opinions about his authority as president.
He wasn't president when he stole those fucking documents.
Yes, he was. When he took those documents, he was the president of the United States. When he left
No,
with
he
him.
wasn't. He wasn't president.
He was the president up until noon on January 20th, 2021.
On that, we agree. But after that date, wait. On that, shut up.
While he was still in that capacity.
Okay, on that we agree. But after that date, those documents were still in Florida. So he wasn't president when he stole those motherfucking documents.
Here we go again. That's why they have a Presidential Records Act to negotiate for their return if and when the National Archives think they should have them in their possession.
That process happening. He was lying to the FBI when he was talking about returning those records.
Again. So where'd you get these lying to the FBI? Now he's lying to the FBI. When was it? Is that in the indictment? You think that's going to be in the indictment? That he lied to the FBI?
Well, it should be because it's a crime.
Well, no, it shouldn't. Is it going to be there? Do you think it's going to be there?
It should be.
Okay, Tyrone, see what I mean. That was like pulling teeth with your ass.
I hope
it
it
is.
is.
Out of you.
I don't know what the fuck wrong with y'all. I don't get
Get
it.
out of you like pulling teeth.
What did Trump do to y'all? Do he send y'all little fucking?
I don't look. I know when somebody's being railroaded. I say the same thing. This is Barack Obama. And you know I despise that lousy bastard.
Is Trump got y'all on the OnlyFans page?
Railroad somebody like I say the same thing about Barack Obama. I don't like anybody being railroaded.
Is Trump got y'all on the OnlyFans page?
I somebody who I like, who I think did a great job as president.
Y'all be watching him rub grease all over his orange body or something? Yeah. Well, why y'all in
love
with him?
Whatever. He does it better than any fucking Democrat does.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Does he glow like an
I
orange?
take the shit better too.
Does he glow like an orange peel?
I don't know. I'm not interested in how he glows. I'm interested in how he governs. I like having under $2 a gallon gas. I liked having a relatively secure border. I liked having trade deals with China that didn't eat our lunch.
Sorry.
I liked putting the U.S. Embassy back in Jerusalem. I liked the Mideast Accords. I liked all of those things.
Sorry, you know that.
I'd like another president that good.
You know that border wall was bullshit, don't you?
Here we go again. Oh. Like 7 million illegal aliens. You're talking about a fucking caravan. But we've had 2 million illegal aliens let into the country on phony claims of asylum when it's supposed to be making them in Mexico. Not coming in the United States through a non-port of entry to make them.
Hey, listen. Y'all taking this immigration...
But you don't pay that any attention because you like it that way.
Listen, brother. This migration thing, this immigration thing started a long time ago when they started...
Okay, there we go again, deflecting.
I'm not. I'm just trying to teach the people something. I don't know if y'all... If way before Trump, way before Obama, they started changing the grocery stores to have Spanish language in there. I don't know if y'all remember... They created a Spanish aisle and all that kind of stuff. That's when the migration started, and y'all motherfucker making it a political issue now.
So wait a minute. So changing laws to enable Spanish people who might be in the country here legally, it might be legally resident, is the same thing as allowing millions of illegal aliens across the border. Okay, Tyrone,
the reason that they was changing the language is because Spanish people was fucking coming over here, Sarge.
There's a way for them to come over here, and it isn't coming through non-ports of entry claiming you have asylum. You're seeking asylum.
And I think
you don't show up. for your immigration hearing that's scheduled 3 or 4 years hence.
And I think that we did
Ignore it. Okay, we ignore it. Yeah, ignore
I
it.
think that we did a report here on the show where it shows more legal ports of entry. It has more migration than the southern border.
Okay.
That shit
It does.
Lie. That is a lie. That is a lie.
it's not.
And look, if somebody comes into the country through a legal port of entry with a lawful visa, I'm not concerned about them.
And what
I
happened?
don't care how many come through.
And
If
what
they got a visa that's been legally issued or a green card or something to indicate lawful residency, I have no reason or business trying to stop them.
And what
I'm
happened?
talking about the illegal aliens coming through the border with phony claims of asylum coming through other than legal ports of entry.
And what happened when that visa
What
ends?
about and they overstay their visa?
Yeah, what
I don't
happened?
care if it's 5 million or 10 million coming through with visas.
So what about when the visa expires?
Then they're in the country illegally.
Okay, and that's the ones that
other definition.
and that's the ones that we're talking about, Sarge. More than the
That's
southern
not what
border.
I'm talking. Because at least they were vetted before they came here the first time. They're not as bad.
So wait. Hold on. Let me get this straight. If you get a piece of paperwork and come over here and become illegal, you're okay with those illegal immigrants.
Yeah, listen to me, sir. In order to get a visa to come to the United States, our State Department has to vet you and run a background check on
Okay.
you. Our country issues visas.
Okay.
Our State Department does.
Okay.
You got to apply to the United States consulate or
Okay,
United
so
States.
I know that. I know that. Listen.
Okay,
So I'm
well
asking
then there.
you.
So then those people have been at least vetted by the State Department.
Okay, so you're okay with those illegal immigrants.
Yeah, I just said I was.
So your immigration is not your illegal immigration is not your problem. Mexicans is then.
Nigga, illegal aliens are my problem. If you overstay your visa, you're an illegal alien.
You just said that wasn't an issue.
Nigga, what? No, you. Goddamn, I'm not yelling loud enough. You don't hear me. One more time. If you get a resident visa or a tourist visa or whatever kind of visa you get, you have been approved by our State Department in the country. You are not approved to overstay your visa.
Right.
Once you overstay your visa, you are subject to immediate deportation if and when you are caught.
Right.
Okay? I am against those people almost as much as the illegal aliens come to the book because they're never even vetted. They don't
Okay.
get any kind of vetting. They get a plane ticket to go wherever the fuck they want to in the country and a court date 3 or 4 years from now.
Okay, so now shut up. Because there is a process to allow those visas to come over here and they overstay their welcome, they are more fucking visa fucking overstays than they are illegal immigrants at the southern border.
What are you trying to get me? You're trying to get me as worried about the illegal visa overstays as you are illegal aliens who never even get one vetting?
I'm trying to get you to stop
I'm not
being.
going to be, Tyrone. I'm just not going to
I'm
be.
trying to get
No
you to
matter
stop.
how many
Hold
often
on,
you
shut
repeat-
up. You
no
asked
matter
me.
how
You
often
asked
you
me.
repeat it.
You asked me what am I worried about? I'm trying to get you to stop being.
So you asked me what I'm worried about.
Shut
You
the
said,
fuck up.
you asked me
Can
the
you
question.
not cut
Damn
me
it,
off?
Are you worried that illegal aliens are just Mexicans? That's what you just asked me. Damn it, you pay attention to what you say.
Okay, you done?
No, I'm not done, nigga. You can't even keep track of what the fuck you say. And I always respond to you, dumbass.
All right. So what I'm trying to get the people to
And
understand.
you ignore what I say half the time.
And what I'm trying to get the people to understand is that he's bitten into this damn racist fucking Mexican
Here we
propaganda.
go again. Here we go again. Yes.
Okay, why are you doing that?
I'm
He bitten
just as worried about an overstay from Switzerland as I am from fucking Mexico.
Of course you're not, because they're white.
I don't know who the fuck they are overstaying.
Because you don't mind
Maybe
white.
maybe the vetting didn't uncover everything they want to do. They want to get the visa, just get in here, and then overstay the visa, do whatever nefarious shit they want to do because they didn't do it in enough time when the visa was still valid.
Because you
How do
don't-
I know?
You ain't worried about white illegal immigrants.
Here
You're
we
just
go
worried about
again.
Mexicans.
Okay, so you're out of arguments. When you're out of arguments, you play this shit every fucking time.
Well, you're not.
That's
But
all
I'm trying to tell you
got
that.
more argument.
I'm trying to tell you that the legal ports of
I'm not
entry.
impressed. No one else is either. They might be with you. Yeah, Tyrone, tell that Sarge. Yeah, you tell that Sarge. Yeah, show him. Howard, where's Howard? Bring Howard in here. He'll tell you how great you are. But you know goddamn well I'm right.
No, you're not. I'm trying to tell you that the legal ports of entry allow more illegal aliens in than the southern border do, Sarge. That's all I'm saying. And if you cared about illegal immigration, if you cared about migrants,
then that means no matter what, then we got a whole lot of deportating to do from wherever they're from.
And then
we ain't doing under this potato head corruptocrat.
And then Fox News got y'all thinking that they bring in fucking fentanyl. That they bring in.
Listen to me, sir. This wave of immigration is so enormous that it's easy to hide smuggling, even without the cooperation of the Great Tide.
Okay, you got to shut up.
That makes it much easier to hide the smuggling because there's so many people to process.
Okay, so I'm gonna mute you for a
Now,
second.
there's so many, it is easier to hide the smugglers amongst them.
Okay, so I'm gonna mute you for 1 second.
They don't have to be cooperative in illegal smuggling to enable it.
Okay, I want to get this out, so I'm gonna mute you for a
Or
second.
do you not understand that? Are you that blockheaded?
Okay, I want to mute you, so hush. Okay, so listen, Sarge is an idiot. Listen, y'all look at those illegal migrants walking across the border, right? They're not walking across the border with bags of cocaine or bags of fentanyl strapped to their ass. Do y'all know how cocaine get into this to this country? It gets here through planes, boats, and trucks and other fucking mass transportation. That is how the fentanyl is getting into this country. Those illegal immigrants would be stupid to walk all that goddamn way and have cocaine on their ass to get turned the fuck around for illegal drug smuggling. You guys are so focused on those migrants that you're blaming the drug problem that the American politicians are involved in, and all of you fucking potheads in America that smoke that dope. Y'all are the ones that are allowing these damn transportation systems like planes and trucks and boats and all this kind of shit to bring the fentanyl in the country, and you're not even addressing how the fucking fentanyl is getting into the country. You're blaming it on fucking migrants. You're so goddamn stupid. That's how drugs get in. That's how drugs always got into the country, you idiot. Your mic back open.
On May 20th, 2023, at 12 o'clock, Customs and Border Patrol officers working at the Paso del Norte border crossing intercepted a combined 17 pounds of fentanyl and methamphetamine in a single smuggling attempt by migrants carrying it in their backpacks. That's small-scale fentanyl smuggling, so they get enough money to get a steak when they're in the United States. That's happening all over the border. They're seizing tons of fentanyl this way. Not as much as the large-scale trafficking, but enough to kill hundreds of thousands of people. The small-scale stuff. You're wrong.
Like I said.
You're wrong. Factually, you are wrong.
Like I said, the way drugs get into this country.
I mean, just ignore what I say and start narrating again.
Okay, so like I said, the way drugs get into this country is not by people walking across the goddamn desert. That's just bullshit.
That's how this was just seized.
That's just
the
bullshit.
The seizure took place on April 15th when a 20-year-old male U.S. citizen arrived from Mexico via the El Norte, a river border crossing.
You said a male. Hold on. You said a male USA citizen.
Yeah, a male U.S. citizen. He was accompanied by illegals.
A male U.S. citizen brought fentanyl across the border.
Accompanied by illegals.
A male U.S. citizen brought fentanyl across the border.
Accompanied by illegals. And it was distributed amongst them. He was the ringleader.
The male USA citizen was
the ringleader. They were figuring that if he's the leader, he's got the others, because they figure if one of them gets intercepted, all of it won't get taken at once.
So even with your
some of it will get through.
Even with your little scenario there, it's the American that's the fucking blame.
Multiply him by dozens or hundreds.
It's the American that's to blame.
What's going on?
Bitch, it's the American that's to blame, you moron.
Here's what I mean. There you go again, man. Okay, I'm going to get another case for your ass. Guys, you're just a blockhead. You're a blockhead. You believe narratives, you don't believe facts.
You was a cop in Illinois and you don't know how drugs get into this goddamn country, you idiot.
Okay.
What the fuck wrong with you?
Here we go with another one. A 37-year-old Mexican citizen in Andrade, California, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol intercepted almost $1 million worth from a Mexican national driving a 2016 pickup truck. who applied for admission into the United States from Mexico at the Andrade port of entry. See, these guys are overloaded with work. They're getting sloppy sometimes because they got so many people to process.
Okay.
They're taking advantage of it.
Well, listen, I don't know if you've seen.
I got more for you, but you're going to ignore every one of them because you don't care about the truth.
Well, because Merrick Garland did a briefing.
You really don't.
Okay. Merrick Garland did a briefing the other week, and he told us how drugs get into this country.
Oh, Merrick Garland. Yeah, I'm going to believe that. Look, fucking lying bastard. Just think he could have been on the Supreme Court. God.
And it's not two fucking migrants. Y'all crazy as hell.
And besides, these Mexican cartels are often using U.S. citizens to smuggle drugs in, along with the huge tide of illegal aliens who may or may not be complicit in the drug smuggling directly. It's a huge. I mean, look, they're busy taking care, changing diapers and giving out bottles of water and giving people basic first aid, all kind of shit. They ain't got as much time to look for smugglers they used to have.
Let me ask you this: if they stop the shut up. If they stop,
you see the city of fucking New York is bitching about a few thousand of them being sent there. We can't handle it. We're overwhelmed. What the fuck do you think is going on in Brownsville?
Let me ask you this: if they stop the illegal migration, do you think the fentanyl problem will go away?
It will be ameliorated significantly. It will not go away.
That's bullshit, Sarge.
But it's worth it to ameliorate it significantly.
Nah, that's bullshit.
Not if China have anything to do with it.
That's what I was getting ready to say,
Well, that's another problem now, isn't it?
Because that's where it's coming
You're right.
from. It's coming from China.
That's another problem. The precursors are. The people who assemble them are in Mexico.
You guys are so whack, man. You're blaming it on the...
Man, I swear to God, man, you believe all these goddamn narratives, man. You're just like a stooge for these fucking rats. These Democrats.
Sarge, we've been talking about the drug... Sarge, we've been talking about the drug problem for years and how it get into this country. And all of a sudden, you guys put the drug problem on these fucking people walking across the damn southern border. That's just stupid.
Do you know how much fentanyl was seized by the Border Patrol? Now, the Border Patrol seized fentanyl. They get it from illegal aliens trying to get into the country. The Customs get it from maybe people who might be U.S. citizens being used by the cartel. You know how much they got last year, just the Border Patrol? You know how much they got?
Let me
the
say this
Border
right
Patrol, now, they got over 4 tons of fentanyl from people smuggling it in backpacks.
Mm-hmm. Listen, let me say this right here.
4 tons!
Listen, I live in Myrtle Beach, right?
How many people do you think 4 tons of fentanyl could kill?
Listen, I live in Myrtle Beach, right?
No answer again.
Shut up. Listen.
You know what their narratives are, don't you? They tell you to stick to your script, don't they?
Why do you always cut me off? Listen, I live in Myrtle Beach.
Because you don't answer simple questions. That's
Because
why. You ask me a question and I answer it.
I got something on my mind. Listen, I live in Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach don't have any ports, but North Myrtle Beach have ports, right? And North Myrtle Beach is one of the biggest goddamn importer of goddamn drugs in this goddamn area. Ain't got shit to do with no goddamn Mexicans. They got boats in North Myrtle Beach, you dumb son of a bitch. The fuck is wrong with you? Ain't got shit to do with no damn southern border.
What the country was to offer drug rehab and health insurance and stuff, maybe they can get a lot of these people off the fentanyl.
They don't want to.
No,
Those politicians are making big money off of this.
Mm-hmm. There's a fix for that.
Yep.
Offer drug rehab, offer health insurance, and things like that. And you get a lot of these people off that. And then the smuggling and stuff won't really much matter. They're not interested, neither side, not really, are interested in doing anything about this drug smuggling and fentanyl.
Yeah, because look at what they did. Look at what they did to their own people, to white America. They got them hooked on the goddamn methamphetamines and goddamn Oxycontin.
Mm-hmm.
They did that.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, people just, like, Sarge, you're just harping on the Democrats. The Democrats, It's basically both sides. These corporations that both sides are trying to protect. I mean, they don't care. They're blaming it on these little migrants. It's a bigger problem than that. Much bigger problem than that.
Yeah, and that
Look.
Oxycontin is killing more people than that goddamn fentanyl is.
Most migrants, the overwhelming majority of the illegal aliens, they're not migrants because migrants go back home. You know, like migrant birds, they migrate south or something. And when the winter's over, they go back north. These people ain't migrants; they're illegal aliens. They ain't intending to go back. Stop calling them migrants. Migrants go back. That's what a migrant does. So anyway, but I will acknowledge that even if they are illegal aliens, most of them are not smuggling fentanyl. Now, I never said they were. What I said was the overwhelming number of them, whether advertent or inadvertent, enables the fentanyl smuggling.
That's bullshit.
You're just as illogical as anybody that's ever existed if you don't think that's true.
Sarge, if you was leaving Honduras with your family, would you bring some fentanyl with you?
No, I wouldn't. What are you asking me a stupid question like this for?
Because you're a human being and
Does that
probably
mean nobody else will?
Because you're
and they're desperate to get some money?
Because you're a human.
I understand desperation.
Because you would be a human being with a family, and I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want your family to get in goddamn trouble. So they're humans, motherfucker. What's up, mama's boy?
Hey, Tyrone. So Sarge just said the fact that illegal immigrants are sneaking into the country enables the fentanyl to get into the country.
That's what he said.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
It seemed to me that, so you saying because Walmart's open, it's enabling a shoplifter? Yeah, I hear crickets. Didn't make sense when you said it. That's all I wanted to say, Tyrone.
Because he's a little slow. But no, you good. I'm going to open up all these lines anyway.
Q&A session is over. All participants are unmuted.
But yeah, Sarge, what you saying is just ridiculous, man. But I get it because Fox News have told you guys to say that stuff about migrants. And look, I wish they would do something about the immigration problem in this country and seriously address it. But the way you guys are painting it, I mean, it's just bullshit.
I got a question for you, Tyrone. How you feel about the new indictment?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready for his ass to go to jail. Sarge's trying to make excuses for him, though. Sarge done came up with a whole motherfucking novel on why these charges are illegitimate. He been telling us some bullshit about, I don't know what the fuck Sarge talking about. But, I mean, that grand jury came together and said that this man committed crimes. So shit.
Hey, and you know what, Tyrone? The fact that it was a Florida grand jury takes all the political aspects out of it.
That's what I was telling them earlier.
Take a lot of it out.
They can't sit up here and say the liberals in New York no more. He got to carry his ass to court in Florida.
Well, in Florida voted what? It went 20 points for Trump. So yeah. There you go, right there. Wow. I didn't see it coming though, Tyrone. I didn't see it coming not this soon. I saw it coming, but I figured it was going to be a lot later.
But they were saying when Trump had went off, I think it was last week, I think they had notified his people. People were guessing that it was coming pretty soon because his people were notified that it's probably coming down the pipe. So, but this was pretty soon. On this particular indictment, this was a little sooner than I thought too.
I mean,
I think that Jack Smith got this document case, and I think Jack Smith is doing the January 6th thing too. So
yeah, he is. But he indicted Trump faster than my sister in Georgia.
He sure did.
But she got a lot of people to deal with.
But you know
what? You ain't lying.
Under him was that phone call that had got out with whoever that Trump was bragging about the documents on.
Yeah, that pretty much changed his ass.
Iran. Yeah, that phone call that they had the recording of that. And he was talking about documents that he couldn't show them because it was classified. I think that kind of put the fire under them to go ahead. Let's just go and do that. I think that's what that helped push it on through faster than most people expected.
Well, they got I heard some people talking and they thinking that witness tampering, intimidating a witness is getting ready to come down too. So.
Yeah, this guy's a criminal, man. I don't see why these guys. It's funny to me though. I don't see how they keep supporting him though. I just be wanting to hear what excuses they come up with.
That's the bit. There's other people to support. That's the thing. It's other people to support, and it's just going to be very interesting. The race is coming down. I doubt. A lot of people are saying they don't think Chris Christie. I hope he make it far enough so he can continue to trash them.
Yeah. Yeah,
because it's like they just completely ignoring what he's saying, like the collusion with the Saudis and stuff like that. I hope, because DeSantis isn't gonna do it because he's too. He's saying he's MAGA, but without all the baggage. But he's too scared to do it. Chris Christie, no, he ain't gonna win nothing. So this is just a chance for him to get up there and run his mouth. Mm-hmm. I don't like him either. But I want him to hang around long enough to run his mouth.
Yeah, he's the only one brave enough to tell the truth.
Well, all of them are banking on Trump being disqualified before the election.
I think so too. I was talking to somebody about that a couple of weeks ago. They're thinking that that's what's going to happen. That's why DeSantis jumped in. And they don't think that Trump is going to make it up too far in the primary and he's going to be gone. I believe that.
I think that he would have to be charged, right, and convicted. Is that what it disqualifies? And Sarge, are you on the line? Where the hell Sarge go?
I think he's going to get too dirtied up.
The only qualifications to be president are the ones listed in the Constitution. You can't make up or add any others, like having to pass a background check, or if you get indicted, or if you get convicted, or anything else.
No, what I'm asking you, listen, brother,
to be president. That's it.
I'm asking you what's a disqualification?
Not getting enough votes in the primary to advance for the nomination of your party.
But that's not the only one.
No,
that's not the only one.
Another one, then name it for me, and I'll tell you what it is.
Okay, I'll name it for you. A president gets impeached, and the Senate convicts him, and it automatically at that point, once the Senate convicts him, they can stop him from ever holding office for the United States again. Right there. Dumbass.
That is true.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me say this right here, Sarge, before you respond. And if
That's right. That's true. Okay. Now, did it happen with Donald Trump?
No, we ain't talking about that, man. We just talking about hypotheticals. Listen.
I want to know, what is the disqualifier to keep Trump from being elected as president?
That's what I'm trying to ask you. Now, listen, if you got a felony, you cannot apply for no security clearance.
Will you read the Constitution? That lays out the requirements to be president. You can be a convicted felon and be elected president if the people decide to vote for you.
Well, there's something that can stop.
But there are some crimes. There are some crimes that you can be convicted of that can eliminate you from holding public fucking office, and that's what Tyrone is fucking asking.
Treason is one of them. Is he convicted of treason?
Huh?
Treason is one of them. Is he convicted of treason?
Well, if he get convicted at January 6th, I mean, shit.
Oh, please. That's insurrection at worst. That's not treason.
I don't know, Sarge.
I'm just asking you to give me something other than what Mama's boy said, because he was correct when he said when you are convicted and impeachment, you are forbidden to hold the office. Although I don't know why they didn't apply to all C. Hastings, because he got impeached and removed from the judgeship, and they let him run for Congress.
Okay, so according to this conversation, the only thing that can stop him if he get charged with treason, is that right?
Yeah, treason or convicted, impeached, and convicted at an impeachment trial in the Senate. Okay. That's it. Now, are the American people likely to vote for a felon? I would hope not. You know, I understand people not wanting to vote for a felon, but that's not a disqualifier.
I'm a Google. I gotta Google you, Sarge, because you'll say all of that, and then just like, goddamn, can I finish talking? You'll say all of that, and just like 5 minutes ago, when I brought up being convicted in the Senate, fucking charges and
The
oh
reason
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
you
say
right
that,
about
'cause
that, but you didn't say that
That's
before,
why it's
motherfucker.
Trump.
Yeah,
It didn't apply to Trump. That's why I didn't mention it. But you know, since you did mention it, I didn't try to argue with you about it, now did I? You were right. I said, yeah, Mama's boy got it right. That's another one.
But you left it out. You omitted it.
But what did I say? Before that, I said the Constitution is the arbiter. The Constitution also says what happens when you get impeached, doesn't it? So the Constitution is still the arbiter no matter what. So my statement still holds true. The Constitution lays out the qualifications. States can't add nothing to it. They can't keep you off the ballot if you otherwise qualify to be on the ballot. I'm sure some of them will try, though, so they'll have to go to court. They'll have to spend money to get on the ballot. They'll say, oh, we got a law in our state. We don't let someone to be on the ballot. I'll tell you, that wouldn't count for president because the Constitution lays out the qualifications, not the states. But they'd rather have him spend a lot of money just to fight it, just to draw down his campaign coffers.
But damn, look like anybody can run for goddamn president. I can't find shit.
They sure did.
Obama ran for president, didn't they? He wasn't even a natural born citizen. They let his ass stick to hold on office.
They need to tighten up on this presidency thing.
I see the insurrection.
So they got to amend the Constitution then.
I see the insurrection.
That's hard to do.
I see the insurrection.
It's hard to amend the Constitution.
Well,
God damn.
The 14th Amendment, that insurrection or rebellion, if you're guilty of that.
Are they going to charge you with that too?
I don't know. That's what
No, I just. But Mama's boy, I think they're going to dirty him up. And some of that other stuff that him and his family did in collusion with the Saudis and different other people like that, he ain't going to want that stuff to come out. And he will disqualify himself from running. I think that's what's going to happen before. He doesn't want a lot of that stuff to come out because those questions need to be answered. And when the Democrats, what they started behind, when they were going to get into how they get all this money from the Saudis, then the election came and they didn't have the power. You know, they knew it was a worthless strive because they didn't have the numbers to get into that investigation. But that is something that needs to be looked at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, SARS don't never talk about Jared Kushner getting that $2 billion.
You're free to talk about it if you want to, and I'll respond to it. Unlike you, I'll actually respond to what you say.
Hey, Tyrone, that's him inviting you to talk about it so he can talk about Hunter Biden.
No. But, yeah, I'll talk about Hunter Biden after he makes a statement about Jared Kushner. He makes a statement about Jared Kushner and making $2 billion. That's the fucking made. You know, I imagine he claims that, unlike Hunter Biden, I think he did it on his tax returns. Unlike Hunter Biden.
It's been 5 years with Hunter Biden. They still ain't got shit.
Put it on his tax returns at least. Unlike the bribes that Hunter Biden got for him and Daddy.
You know what? I was honestly looking for y'all to come up with something. I was waiting, but y'all ain't came up with shit.
I was too. But they didn't come up with anything.
Yeah.
We didn't come with anything about who?
Hunter
Hey,
Biden.
Tyrone, that's because the Hunter Biden laptop story is Russian disinformation.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden, 51 intelligence experts attested to that, remember? It's all has all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. The FBI has had it since 2019. They've been sitting on a damn thing, but it's all hallmarks of Russian disinformation because they're intelligence experts.
And Hunter Biden is even a drug addict, and he was real loose with his stuff. And y'all still ain't come up with nothing to nail him down.
Not a damn
yes,
thing.
we did.
Except
We got all
for the
kind of
taxes.
evidence that he did.
Except for the taxes.
We got a ton of evidence that he did.
You ain't got shit. Except for the taxes.
Well, you just say we ain't got shit. Just because these corrupt bastards won't do nothing against it don't mean we ain't got the evidence.
Yes, that's exactly what that means.
Shit, I mean, goddamn, the Barrett Garland and the Department of Justice is corrupt as a day is long. They're covering up for this administration, and they know it.
Hey, Tyrone, I was watching that documentary about Rudy Giuliani.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it, and Rudy Giuliani said it out of his own goddamn mouth that the Hunter Biden story was, he got the story from that guy that he met over in the Ukraine. And that's the whole reason why he lost his fucking bar license. Fucking with that dude, repeating what that dude was telling him. It was all Russian disinformation. But these dudes want to keep hanging on. Rudy Giuliani said it in that damn documentary. He said it. He was sitting at the table, somebody was interviewing, and he said it.
But they don't have anything on Hunter Biden. They just don't.
Well, we got shit on Joe Biden, not just Hunter.
Okay, well, fucking indict him then.
God damn, man, we got the text messages detailing his involvement with the other people in the scheme. Devin Archer, Tony Bobolinsky testified he was one of the business associates.
Well, indict him, Sarge.
We got all of this stuff, and you just said we got nothing.
You have nothing. Nothing.
Good God, man, we got nothing only because the authorities with the obligation to do something don't do anything. That includes Jeff Sessions, that includes William Barr, and that includes especially that goddamn no good stink ass Merrick Garland.
Okay, watch this right here. For 4 years, when Donald Trump was in office, y'all had possession of Hunter Biden's laptop and didn't do a goddamn thing.
Yeah, because William Barr slow rolled it. That's why. Yeah.
What the fuck?
He started the slow roll. He's a member of the deep state.
Now it's your party that don't work.
Yeah, he's an enabler for the deep state. He doesn't want to expose it.
Oh, he's a deep stater.
He's definitely affiliated with it, if not an outright a key cog in it.
Oh, Jesus. You know what?
The bureaucratic state, these bureaucrats that make all these decisions behind the scenes, that make administrative law as though it was legislative law.
You was all right when William Barr, downplayed Mueller report. You was happy with him then, weren't you?
Yeah, because the Mueller report attested to it. I read it.
Whatever.
I didn't just rely on what William Barr said.
Bill Barr lied.
I read the report.
Bill Barr lied about that report, Sergeant.
I didn't just rely on William Barr's opinion about it. So yes, I agreed with it. With him on that. I guess even he won't go but so far with the corruption.
I'll be glad when
the
they put
country
some...
became.
Go ahead.
This country became so corrupt. The FBI, the CIA, the DOJ, everybody became extremely corrupt and part of the deep state once Trump became president.
Yep.
No, let me take that back.
I can explain that, sis.
Go ahead.
Well, see, when you're being lied to and you think everything the person that's lying to you is true, there's no way you can make sense of like all the allegations that are coming against that person, except it being a conspiracy against them. Because if it's not a conspiracy against them, they're guilty.
That's true.
They're without a doubt, in your face, guilty. And a person, it's hard for a person that is I don't know, is like a fan or, you so awestruck and believe everything they say. It's hard for you to compartmentalize that fact, that truth, that if it's not a conspiracy, if you couldn't get 20 agencies together and 20 people to all say the same thing, conspire together, then that person is guilty as fuck. And that's what I think you're hearing from Trump supporters. It's hard for them to put that in a bag. When all of us see it, they're the ones that are being grifted on.
They're just cult members.
Sarge
is a cult member.
Mama, let me put this out to you. You're absolutely right. And I'll give you a great example. Bill Cosby. Now, I love the Cosby Show. But when all of this stuff came up by Bill Cosby, my first thought was, Well, not that they was necessarily, he was trying to buy NBC and all of that, because yeah. But it was like, no, he wouldn't do that. They're trying to take him down for whatever reason. I wasn't hardcore on that. But then after you start listening to a little bit more of what people, not all of those pile on, because a lot of those women were lying, but you start listening and saying where there's smoke, there's fire. And then you take the time, get into it, and you go, you know what? That dude did something. That dude did a lot of them things they said he did. And it hurt my feelings. I was like, I'm going to hate to see Cosby, go to prison. He blind. And he was America's dad. But I had to accept the truth that Bill Cosby did a lot of them things that they accused him of doing. And you just move on from that. You just move on. It is what it is.
Exactly.
That's a great example. It is what it is. And another example. Well, this is an easy example. Umar Johnson. Now, I didn't donate any money to his school. I was going to, and I was like, he's doing good work for the kids and for the business. You start hearing this and hearing that.
Yeah.
And I remember
you start seeing the shenanigans. You start seeing the shenanigans.
You start seeing it, and you're open to. Well, if you have to be open to that these people could be lying. And when Tyrone did the show and had that woman on it, the stripper, the conscious stripper, where her people was on the show, and where Umar Johnson, the people who worked for him, when they called in that night. And I don't remember verbatim. All that stuff is over in Blog Talk Files. And I asked the woman a question, and her answer that she gave me back, I said, Umar did that stuff. And Umar ain't planning on, because basically what I found out from listening to the representative that called in that night, because the stripper was on Tyrone had on the show. And when question I asked her about with the school, because people was like, school. I wasn't listening to that. And when I was asking about, who all you have working the different things as far as planning for the school, and then how she answered that, I said, they're not planning for no school. They have no money, because I was smart enough to look up what it takes to open a school, what it takes to do these things. And they had done none of it. And I was like, oh my God, these people are fraud. And you have to be open to listen to what people are saying. But MAGA people are not open to it. They're not open to hear anything. Their mind is made up, and it's like a brick stone wall. And
well, they remind you of cult followers. They remind you of cult followers. If you watched any of those documentaries or lived during the time of any of those cults, you notice that you could have like some solid proof, and they'll still find some kind of way to side with the person that they in love with. So
to side or to explain it away,
or my favorite of all time is the out and outright I don't give a damn. I respect that more than all the him and then the on the side and the left shuffle, and you can't get your arguments. Just come out and tell me I know all these things. I still I'm good. I can go with that.
I don't give a damn. And that's when okay, you're dealing with a brick wall. A personal experience, someone I know, we were going back and forth, and I remember we had to go see my dad because he had a heart attack. It was a whole lot of stuff was going on. This was some years ago. And I was trying to explain to this person why we weren't unable to take all of the children. Because this person was upset that we couldn't take the children down for a visit because my father had a heart thing that went on some years ago. So we were just going to make a quick trip down. And I was like, well, this is the reason we couldn't take the children, because once this happened, we said we're just going to go down, take a look at him, make sure he's good, and come on back. So we couldn't take them. It's not that we were showing favors, so it was none of that. You knew that he was in the hospital. And this person looked at me and said, well, I don't care. All I know is, and everybody who was in the room looked at me to see if I was going to go off or, and they said it's just like the air just came out of me. Because I was like, Lisa, you're wasting your time. If somebody tell you, I don't care. Anyway, all I know is you're talking to a
you can't talk. You can't even. Might as well. I heard it said before, and I'ma just say it again. When it comes to, I guess the cult following, you just have to remember Maya Angelou said, when sometimes people tell you who the fuck they are, and you need to believe them. I didn't state it verbatim the way she said it, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And Trump been saying the whole time who he is. He ain't never, from day one, he ain't never hid it because he ain't have to hide it. He cut a deal when he was about out of the primaries and where they was figuring out who was going to represent. He was almost out. That's how he got back in. When he went down there and cut that deal, and next thing you know, it's a wrap. He started taking over because he cut the deal to fix the niggas. I'll get the niggas under control. Y'all just get me in there. I will reverse everything that nigga in there did. And I think that's the reason why Trump has a hard time going after somebody black. If you go back, even when he tries to talk about, Kamala Harris, he really don't know exactly what to say. So he just say she's racist, this, and that, a routine. Because he doesn't know how to argue with black people without using the word nigga.
Well, I'm telling y'all, they don't need the black vote if they get enough white people voting. Think about it. If half the country voted for Donald Trump, and I'm just saying that the majority of them was white, that's all they need is the other white people to come on board and vote with Donald Trump. And the other side would be the black vote plus, mixed races and all that kind of stuff. And the white people would win because they would have more votes. So they don't give a shit about pandering toward black people. That's why they don't. That's why they don't. That's why Tim Scott.
But I'm just saying. I'm saying Donald Trump. Donald Trump can't argue with somebody black without calling them nigga.
Yeah.
And that, I actually think Tim Scott would be a great idea to run against him if he could get some traction, because Donald Trump would have a hard time debating with him. You know what I'm saying? Because it would actually come out. I actually think Tim Scott
already submitted to Donald Trump. He's not even running.
Yeah, he did. And they both kind of said they ain't gonna talk about each other. Yeah. Did you catch that?
He ain't even running against Donald Trump. I don't even know what the
fuck I think Donald Trump said that because he know Tim Scott gonna lay down for him.
Yeah, he gonna lay down. He's gonna lay down. Tim Scott will lay down for anybody. He has already laid down and spreaded it wide. So it is.
Man, when that fool said, "Thank God Almighty," I said, "Man, they got that nigga. They got a barcode on that nigga." Yeah.
But arguing with these people is just a waste of time. But somebody said, "Well, I don't care." Well, anyway. Well, such and such, and you telling all you real.
I remember
the truth. They go, well, anyway,
it was one of them senators. It was one of them senators, sis, that did that. Trump was getting impeached, and they had him guilty, and they were interviewing him. I think it was Manu Raju or somebody was interviewing this white-haired Southern gentleman. I can't remember his name, but he was almost out too. It was his last hoorah anyway in the Senate. And he looked, old boy said the little facts, and he put his little eyes to the floor. Next thing you know, he looked at Manu and said, "Well, I don't care. I still think he's the best president America's ever had."
Mm-hmm.
And I would just say that. Stop all the damn slipping and sliding and James Brown and all over the place
Cause that
You
dumb
know?
shit Sarge is saying right now about trying to justify that a grand jury indicted this man, trying to say that it's some type of goddamn conspiracy. That is the fucking legal system in this country working. They found crimes that Donald Trump did, and he's going to be indicted on them. Period. There ain't even no excuse for that.
Well, from my understanding, Tyrone, it was 2 grand juries. It was, from my understanding, it was 2 grand juries. So that would mean it would have to be 24 people all conspired against indicting this. Man, please. I mean, now we got 24 jurors. We got the Democratic Party. We got the FBI. I mean, good God Almighty, man! How many more people gonna conspire?
These motherfuckers they say fuck law and order when it comes to Trump. They don't give a shit about the law.
You know, just Mama's boy said it right. Just say, I don't care. I don't care. Because like when they asked a group of these white women who are women for Trump about to grab him by the private parts and different other things, they would say, how could you all this and that? And they was like, and they was jumping through 1,000 hoops to make excuses. Instead of just saying, we don't.
Well, there was one woman. There was only one that said she didn't give a damn.
She didn't give a damn. I don't care about that. Just be with it. You know, like that person told me in my face. Well, I don't care. All I know is that I'm like, well, boom, conversation is over. When you say that, there's nothing else need to be said. I don't care.
Well, you said it all.
You just said it all. I don't care.
Yeah, you said it all. That's the reason why, you know, I expect the same 30% to vote for Trump no matter what, but you're going to be surprised on how many people ain't with all this shit.
A lot of people aren't with it. A lot of people aren't.
I think more people aren't than Sarge is calculating.
Well, what they did was a good job of demonizing the Democrats. I mean, they really did a good job at smearing the other side and using religion to do so, because they think that the Democrats are against children.
They had the Democrats. They had them down.
Well, they think the Democrats are against children, and then they're using this homosexual thing to be against the Bible.
Mm-hmm. It was working.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're doing a good job of demonizing the other party.
But I think the biggest elephant in the room is Trump can't quit, you know, in an old military saying, stepping on his dick.
But see, they like that. That's why Sarge is so excited. They like that retarded, childish shit that Trump doing. They do. That's really a turn on, and that's going to change the way people do politics from here on out. You know how everybody used to be cordial and all that kind of shit. That shit.
Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah, Trump changed.
It's out of here.
I mean, you got the ex-president posting memes, fat shaming memes.
You seen that with Chris Christian?
Yeah, yes, Chris Christian. It's like y'all people. We had politics. At least they used to have a little bit more decorum.
Yeah,
they used to act more like adults. But look at the foolishness that we have really fallen here. Yep. But the people don't care. They don't care. But I agree with Mama's boy. More people are sick of that than what a lot of them actually realize.
Well, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, more people. I'm tired of it.
You know what gave me the idea, sis? I was watching a lady get interviewed at the Rick Scott announcement, Tim Scott announcement. Sorry, and you should the look on her face, cause the guy asked her. She was like, "Oh," he was like, "Yeah, you think Tim Scott? You going for him?" She's like, "Yeah, he's great. He's different, you know, and he's not, you know, he's not being abrasive. He's doing the other way, you know." And he was like, "Okay, so do you think he has any chance of against Trump?" And she paused. So that told the whole story. But what I got from her was that it's hard to keep people, full of vengeance when it ain't nothing to be vengeful for. When, you still got everything, but you trying to get these people to get angry.
You said the key thing right there. If you listen to Fox News, that's all they doing is pissing people off with every topic. The border, transgender, Hunter Biden laptop, Joe Biden investigation. It used to be Nancy Pelosi. But they making people mad. They want them to be mad all the fucking time.
They want them to stay mad.
Right.
All the time.
Stay mad.
And Tyrone, you can speak from an experience, and I can too. And I'll lay this on you. You know how hard it is to keep a group of men focused on a task. Mm-hmm. You also know how hard it is to get them, gung ho about it. And keep them gung-ho about it. So imagine trying to keep people riled up for 7, 8, 9 years about the same old shit.
Well,
people
I'm telling you, they're
good.
Good. They're good at it, mama's boy. They're doing it. Listen how angry Sarge is. He been that mad. He been that mad. Listen, he been that angry. He's been that angry for 10 goddamn years. Sarge been mad as fuck. For 10 years.
Tyrone, I think Sarge has a special grievance because, he got played on the radio. Sarge is, I think, a special case. He had some black power in him once in his life, and then, he switched and he finally got his spotlight. He got to talk to the presidential candidate and try to make him look bad on the radio, and it all went bad, and nobody's got the recording. So he's got to hurt hard about that. So he gonna have a deep-seated, Democrats piss on them. Come on. And he's a boule too.
Well, I'm telling you, they know how to keep him angry. They know how to keep him mad.
Sarge wake up mad, and he smack himself just in case he ain't,
Every day I turn on that radio, listen to Fox. They getting mad about something, the border or something. They just mad.
Oh,
they've been doing that. They've been doing that for the longest.
And they ratcheting up the mask thing again, because the East Coast, we got all that smoke.
Yeah, I
from
heard
over in Canada. So they telling, the sky was orange all day here. And so they're telling the people, y'all got the mask up, put the mask on because that smoke. At Fox News on a lot of their programming today, and you know what they're doing? They're telling people to put the mask back on. Yeah, you dumbasses, it's burning. That's smoke in the air. So they're doing this, which they know is absolutely ludicrous.
Yep.
The East Coast and all these states, we all messed up with all this, the skies.
I think CNN is falling into that too, sis. I think CNN is
they fired the CEO.
And the people are.
They fired the CEO.
They're trying to remind people.
And they brought in that right wing dude.
No, they fired Chris Lick. That was the right wing dude. They got rid of him, the new guy.
Oh, they got rid of him.
Yeah.
They're not.
And we almost as mad as folks who get pissed off at you when we don't use the right pronoun. We almost get that mad.
There you go.
Oh, but
and that's idiocy. That's idiocy, sorry.
They're trying to remind people how they felt about the mask during COVID. So they're using this burning smoke because a lot of people decided the news and experts were telling people, in the areas that's heavily affected, because they were telling us that here today, to put the mask back on. After the weekend, it should have cleared out. So they're trying to remind people, remember how y'all felt about that mask? So they done ratcheted that back up over the smoke.
Let them walk out there without one and start coughing. They'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
But I really feel like that's what DeSantis and Scott and all of them are waiting for something to really, they're like sitting in a spot waiting for the trap to spring on them.
Well, DeSantis act like it's supposed to be handed to him. He really ain't campaigning, and he's thinking that he's going to be the next president in an arrogant type way. I don't
Yeah,
like.
he do act like he Jesus number 2.
I agree. He think that just show you how crazy Donald Trump is. He think it's owed to him. The country is his, and he should be able to do what he's always been. That's like the New Yorkers always despised him. He's a narcissist to the 10th degree, and he think it's owed to him, and he think he should have it. And when you sit up here and look at how he looked with his neck all shrunken, and got the nerve to call it Chris Christie fat when he fat. That is just ridiculous. But y'all see one thing that he doesn't want to do? When he was on Sean Hannity, when they had the town hall, he really would prefer them not to go in too much about Joe Biden's age. Because Joe Biden
he's just as old as Joe Biden.
That's why he's trying to pull back from that. Because he's just a couple of years older than, because he got on Hannity about that. But he's just a couple of years younger than Joe Biden. Both of them too old. But Trump is, someone got in his ear and he heard that. Just pull back on talking about Joe Biden's age. Because he's just a couple of years younger. And he know if Ron DeSantis come up there on that stage, and we have to be honest, I despise Ron DeSantis. But Ron DeSantis is like Obama. He's young when Obama ran.
Yeah.
He's young. He's youthful. And Trump and Biden ass too would look ridiculous standing up against this youthful dude right here.
Yep.
So that is one reason.
But the problem,
because DeSantis can't use that against him, Trump's age.
That's what Americans is going to see is that Ron DeSantis is youthful and Biden and Trump is old. So that there is.
The only thing I have to say about if DeSantis and Trump get on the same stage, DeSantis better have a better thinking off the head, because Trump, he just flies off the head. And if DeSantis doesn't have any kind of wittiness about him, I can see him getting his ass stomped. Just off the ridiculousness. Because Trump will lie. Trump will stand there right there and tell like the biggest lie in the world on your ass. And you better have something for that.
Yeah, you're right. But then you jump on him about his age. And since he don't mind fat shaming, you fat shaming him back.
Yeah. I say DeSantis should get out because he got a lot of warts down there in Florida right now.
Well, see, I don't think that DeSantis is going to do good nationally. He just ain't. None of them candidates ain't going to do good nationally. Nikki Haley,
they're not.
Because of the racist stuff, because of the book bans and the transgender stuff, that stuff ain't going to do good nationally.
It ain't going to work, man. And passing that 6-week abortion ban in the middle of the night ain't gonna help it.
Do good nationally either.
Nope, it's not. But he looked better than them two. Biden looked like he sleep. No,
DeSantis. If he had a mouthpiece, if DeSantis had a mouthpiece like Obama, then I would be right there saying, yeah, there's some problem on the heel. But DeSantis has a hard time just keeping his foot out of his mouth.
That's true. The only thing he know how to say is woke, 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 woke.
Yeah, I don't know when
Man, he don't even be saying that shit right.
Yeah, they got some sorry ass candidates. Nikki Haley is full of shit.
Tim Scott is a coon.
Oh my God! Don't do it to him. Don't do it to him. Sid.
Did y'all see him on The View?
Yeah, I saw some snippets of it and some of the questions that they was asking him. Tim Scott, is he the one that said that he was happy and proud about his wife being white or something? Was that him?
Tim Scott ain't married.
Nah, he ain't married.
I don't even think he got a girlfriend.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm thinking about the other black dude that's saying that he was so proud that his wife was white. He was from one of the states. I didn't know Tim Scott is not married.
Him and Lindsey Graham ain't got no girlfriend or married.
Oh, he probably like Lindsey Graham ain't got no girlfriend or married.
Hey,
There's something going on with these damn congressmen and senators down here in South Carolina. I don't know what that's
hey,
about.
that thank God Almighty ain't helping. It's gonna be hard for you to pick a lady up when they done seen you on TV doing that shit.
Oh, but I did not know Tim Scott wasn't married. I didn't know that. I thought he had a white wife.
I think he gay.
You think so? He might be. If
I mean,
there's no woman on the same.
okay.
As much as Lindsey Graham be crying, I think he might be gay.
I think he is, because there's a lot of rumors has been about him, but he keep it pretty secret though. He does. He keep it pretty secret.
That name Lindsey don't help him. I'm just saying.
But no, I think Lindsey is, because there's a lot of rumors. But Lindsey has done a good job, which he shouldn't have to. He should, if that's what he is, he should live his truth. But for whatever reason, he doesn't want to talk about it.
Well,
Cory Booker too.
The thing that be killing me, yeah, you're right about that. The thing that be killing me about Lindsey is that him and Tim Scott, they the same person. They just, one's black, one's white. They the exact same damn person. They gonna go where, and if it's a little static, they gonna flip.
Yeah, they're gonna flip. They go whichever way the wind blows.
Hey, whichever best way go for their career, they hit it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they don't even
Lindsey Graham was a completely different person when John McCain was alive.
Yeah, because he was living off John McCain's coattail. Oh, you Lindsey Graham, you John McCain's man. Tell John I got a port downstairs for him. Well, while I'm up here, can I talk to you about this train that we want to build down there in, in South Carolina?
He was talking cash shit about Donald Trump initially.
Didn't he say it was the end of the Republican Party, Tyrone? He said, if we nominate Trump as our leader, it will be the end of the Republican Party.
Yep.
He said
that. And he changed his tune. Just like, what's that other fool out there from Arizona? God, I can't stand him. The one that looked like Grandpa Monster. What's his with the mutton chop?
You messing me up.
Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, Kentucky though.
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz. Yeah, my mom said she think he gay. My mom said she think he gay.
I don't think so. I don't think he's gay. I don't pay.
I don't know, Miss Elisa. I don't know.
Yeah, he do kind of look like Uncle Fester, don't he?
He
looks like Grandpa Monster.
Grandpa.
That's because he got a hella nose on him. That's why Grandpa nose is long.
Yeah. Grandpa's the one. You absolutely right.
Hey, but my mom think Ted Cruz gay. And you know what?
Yeah.
The way he let Donald Trump talk about his old lady and kids, and then next thing you know, they sitting up there in the White House in his lap and shit. I don't know. That's a gay move to me.
Nah, I don't know. He always talk about how. You ever listen to his podcast? He has some kind of podcast. I don't know if he still has it. And he was talking about some women and how hot. Oh, they were really hot. About hot women. And I just wanted to vomit puke. Every time he was talking about, oh, she's really hot. And I was, Ted Cruz is just such an old lying person. Still, but hopefully he lose his seat when the thing come back around, but I doubt it.
Yeah, Ted Cruz like a bad replica of the Penguin. You know what I'm saying? That's what he remind me of. Remember the Penguin off Batman?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Ted Cruz looked like a bad version of that motherfucker.
Well, look, guys, I got to go to bed. So, listen, YouTube. I'm gonna shut YouTube down. Y'all can call in. We done shut Sarge up, I guess.
Man, Sarge, he wasn't talking about nothing, Tyrone. He was just making a bunch of noise because he ain't got nothing to stand on.
Yeah.
Everything you were saying was right.
I appreciate it.
Y'all didn't refer hardly at all to any evidence, fact, or law, or anything. You want Trump. You don't care how you get him. It doesn't matter. It's just like these bastards are prosecuting this illegitimate case against him. I'm certain of it. And I'll know for sure when I read this indictment because I know bullshit in the law when I see it. I've been seeing it ever since this man became president. When he announced his presidency, when he started coming down the escalator, everything they have done since he became in office. And all of the good he's done for this country, despite that, and in fact, because of it, is the reason they want to get to him. And you are helping to enable their narrative, the narrative of the deep state. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
No. Okay, you're not, but see, Sarge, you're not being honest. A lot of people did not like Trump when he announced he was running. A lot of people did not like Donald Trump before he said he was running because he's a loudmouth, he's a bad businessman, and he was always a con artist. And people saw through that. Ask the people up there in New York. They despise Trump. So it's not that he became president, they just all of a sudden.
I don't care if they dislike him. I care that they make up fraudulent cases against him. They can hate him for all I care. I can care less. What I care is when they use the law to persecute someone who has done a great deal of good for the United States. That I despise.
Sorry, but a grand jury is not fraudulent.
Oh, fuck the grand jury. They kiss my ass.
There you go, Tyrone. There you go.
A fraud and a grifter. That people never did like him because he was a fraud. He was a fraud and grifter.